The ideas that gave birth to our nation are the ideas that our nation is resistant to right now, and we should talk about that all the time.
In a world where narratives are shaped by corporations and gatekeepers, independent voices matter more than ever. Badlands Media brings together citizen journalists, researchers, and independent thinkers.
The truth is triggering.
Question the narrative. Explore the facts.
It's authenticity, courage, resilience.
Search for the truth others won't.
It's not about being first or being right.
The information war is changing.
It's about being authentic.
Embrace the friction.
Embrace the friction.
Shut the f*** up.
Authentically antagonizing. Join the movement.
I'm going to say how I feel.
Follow Badlands Media.
This is about the future.
The Badlands. What are the Badlands? Explain those Badlands. That's a hell of a name.
Good evening and welcome to Flow episode 50. Oh, half a century mark. What's up, everybody? How y'all doing this evening or afternoon if you're out on the West Coast? I saw Unati got in here pretty early. She said, "Good evening, fine people." I'll go checking in. Thank you for checking in, sister. Good to see you. Hopefully you're in here as well. Rocky Top Apologist says, check, check. Good to see you, brother. Nick Finishman, what's up, friends? Good to see you. Babbage gave a wave over on YouTube. What's up, YouTube? And shout out to YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, X, and Kick, and of course, the one and only Rumble. We got all those platforms up. We'll do what we normally do and cut about an hour in from everywhere but X and Rumble because I got the American of the Week that we got to do, and I'll play a couple other things as well. But good to see everybody in here. Unati's in here for sure. She says 1, 2 after the mic check from Rocky Top and check from me as well. Unati says, Rocky Top Apologist, by the way, Kilo Echo 8 uniform Mike Charlie, just in case. And yeah, I got the Echo. I read it as Eco as well the first time. That's why I slowed up for a second. Matt VK's in here. What's up, brother? How you doing? AOB22 says, hi, everyone. Good to see you as well. Scheisler is here, of course. Hello, everyone. Hello, Scheisler. Great to see you again. Let's see. We got Bay Theater Dave in here. Howdy, y'all. And then threw a little Rick roll in there. You can't see it, but you know it. Let's see. We got all those people that I just mentioned. Raw Shark Lives says, flow time. Yes, sir. It's flow time. Buck Wayne in the house. Good to see you. Jennifer Ray's here. Happy Saturday, y'all. 50 or 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 100. Hopefully we get to 50, 100. Jackie says, I think you need to move the cam angle down. Yeah, I think so too. That's the one thing I did not do. So you guys are going to look at my chest for a second while I move that. Shirt on, of course. Let me turn on some music for you guys while I do this. And then we'll get into some ads. So music first. Let me make sure the sound's not too loud so I don't blow out your eardrums. We'll leave it right here. And I'm trying a split screen thing today. So we're gonna see if it keeps me from freezing when I switch over screens because we're on split screen. I don't know what this is, but there's Facebook like Dan. I don't know how to pull it up, but it says Dan Schumacher hit a thumbs up on Facebook. Thank you so much, Dan. I really appreciate it. And awesome name. Schumacher is I don't think it's spelled the same way, but a famous race car driver. And Eric Hubler. By the way, I hope I'm not doxing you guys, but it's on Facebook, so I'm pretty sure people can just find it. But I'll just say the names next time. So Eric and Dan, thank you so much for the thumbs up. And yeah, everybody hit the thumbs up on your respective platforms or hit the heart button, like button. This is my 50th episode, and I think because I missed a couple for Gartz, and then there was one weekend I think I just wasn't there. I don't remember, but I think last week with Caleb would have been like the 1 year anniversary. I'll actually look that up later. But let me go ahead and change my camera, and then I'll get into the ad reads for you guys. That's too low. That's a little too low. That's just about right. Let's stick with that. That seems good. I like it there. All right. So anyway, thank you, Jackie, for that. And that gave everybody else some time to get in here. Let's see what else we got in here. I said Buck Wayne already. Near Myrtle Beach. Poof. All right, hold on a second, y'all. All right. PTH Helm 68 says near Myrtle Beach. Myrtle Beach was actually the first time where I met everybody. So great to see you. Thank you for being here. I did that because I saw Bay Theater Dave wave to you in the chat. Scheitzler is over on YouTube as well. Double time in it. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much. Yeah, guys, we're trying to build the YouTube channel that I had gotten us kicked off of a couple times for copyright stuff, but I've gotten better at it, so I think we're good. Bay Theater Dave's over there too. Nice. But yeah, please go over to YouTube and hit the thumbs up if you have the chance. And I know that YouTube has been censorful in the past, but they're freeing it up a little bit, and it's a great place for us to get monetized. And we still want to spread our message because there are plenty of people that aren't on Rumble and these other channels. So thank you so much. And Richard Ness over there says hi all. Good to see you as well. Trumpette is in here. She says hello, good evening, everyone. D Patriot down here says hey to basically everybody. Good to see you as well. And let me catch up to the current time. Hopefully I don't skip anybody. I see Jackie over on YouTube. Bay Theater Dave, I'm not going to dox your name, even though people already know it, but you're over there on Facebook. 5 thumbs up on Facebook now. So we got Dave, Deb, Heather, Eric, and Dan. Great American names, by the way. Harry Patriot, good to see you. Hey, Cam, hey, all. All right, I think we're about caught up. You guys are moving fast, which is good. So, all right, let's get into the first ad read, and let's get it flowing. So first up, we have Goldco. I gotta cut the music obviously for that. And make sure you guys take care of your finances. In this crazy world that we live in, we don't know how the monetary system is going to work because it's super fucked up right now. The Federal Reserve is an illegitimate body that has its own plot of land that is not federal nor reserve. So get your gold. All right. Oh, let me get this up. Here we go. It's officially a new era for gold and silver. Gold has broken 5,000 an ounce and silver has surged past 100. In 2025 alone, gold jumped 64% while silver skyrocketed 150%. And with political and economic uncertainty ahead, 2026 could bring even bigger moves, like I was just saying. After such a historic run, a pullback is normal. Metals moved fast, so some consolidation is expected, but top analysts are calling for even higher prices. We've seen the first bank failure of 2026 with regulators shutting down Metropolitan Capital Bank and trusts in Chicago. Could more follow? Who knows? It's no surprise I say yes. It's no surprise Americans are pulling money from banks and turning to the proven protection of gold and silver. Big news. Goldco is celebrating America's 250th anniversary with a limited time bonus. Get up to 10% free gold or silver plus free storage and a free home safe with a qualifying cash purchase. This offer won't last, so act now. Are we seeing the early signs of another 2008 style crisis? Don't wait for the next shoe to drop. Protect your wealth with precious metals, because in uncertain times, gold and silver shine brightest. Visit goldco.com today for your free 2026 gold and silver kit and bonus buy. That's badlandsgold.com. And thank you so much to Goldco. The only thing that I'm going to have to make sure I don't do is because in the sharing the tab thing, or when I'm doing split screen, the X is very close to the button. So I got to make sure I don't close out of StreamYard. So if I disappear for a second, I'll get back up real quick. We got a couple more. We got some loves over here from Stephanie and Allie. Thank you so much. Over on Facebook. That's pretty cool that it pops up like that. All right. And then next up, we'll go ahead and get our second sponsor flowing real quick. And then we will get into the show, and I will hit the third sponsor, which is us, for soft disclosure. I'll hit that near the end of the show. So, all right. Next up, we have Patriot Protect. As you can see at the bottom, they are the sponsor for the show. But let me give you the little read real quick. Patriot Protect finds your personal information on hundreds of websites that are listing it to the world and wipes it from the internet. Here's why that matters more right now than it ever has before. Just this year alone, 72 million email addresses dumped on a hacking forum. The conduit breach exposed the social security numbers and medical records of 25 million Americans. The Texas Attorney General is calling it the largest data breach in U.S. history, and the year isn't even half over. This is about way more than hackers. Data brokers sell your personal information, your location, your daily movements, your private life to anyone willing to pay. In March, the FBI confirmed they're buying that same data to track Americans without a warrant. And that same month, the FBI's own surveillance system was breached. The Justice Department called it a major incident. Most services just monitor your credit and tell you after your identity gets stolen. Patriot Protect removes the information criminals, scammers, and stalkers need to target you in the first place. And the work does not stop. These sites put your data back up constantly. And the scanning runs around the clock to take it back down. Scammers prey on people who don't take action. So take action. Patriot Protect's free exposure report shows you exactly what a scammer sees when they look at you. It's a peephole into how much you're worth to them. And it takes 60 seconds. No credit card or sign up required. What's more expensive, a few dollars a month or having your bank accounts drained? I would say the latter is more expensive. Use code Badlands for 15% off any plan at www.patriot-protect.com/flow. Your data is already out there. Take it back. Check out episode 2 of America First Stories right here on Badlands Media to learn more. And that is what that is John's new show on Sundays. And obviously on episode 2, they have the person from Patriot Protect on, or John has him on, and they go through what they can offer you. And I already have Patriot Protect. I just re-up. Well, it's a subscription, so I got the email for the next month. So I've only had it for 1 month, and they've already taken down like 50 different sites, taking me off of 50 different sites. The spam calls have stopped. The spam emails for the most part have stopped, except for stuff that I sign up for because I like coupons. But other than that, man, it is awesome. So make sure you check out patriotprotect.com and use promo code Badlands. All right. So let's get into the show, people. And let me get this. I think we only have one video, so I'll put some music back on while we go through some of this stuff. And we'll let it flow. Let's get that. Says, hey, the music. Yeah, I had taken off for reading purposes. There's no way that I would have been able to pay attention and get through that second ad read. That was a little more wordy if I didn't do that. But I got it back on now. And Buck Wayne, hopefully you like this song too, but eventually I'll go back to the other song. I don't want to keep the same song going too much, or else people will get bored. And yes, Faith Theater Dave is right. Hackers beware. Patriot Protect's coming through to whoop that ass. That's what I'm talking about. Butternut is here. Butternut741 on YouTube. Good to see you. Indy Patriot 83 is here and says, Trump's bringing us to the golden age and Golden Tempo wins the Kentucky Derby. Yep. So I was looking at that. I really wanted the Puma to win, but then I saw that it got a scratch before it even started, so I had to change my mind. Then I thought Renegade was going to win because I thought it was going to be some black hat bullshit because, you know, that's Obama's code name with the Secret Service. But Renegade got the rug pull, and I didn't actually watch it, but Renegade got the rug pull and Golden Tempo won because we're in that Golden Tempo right now. That's what I'm talking about. All right. So first up, we're going to go to Donald Trump's Truth Social. And I guess there's a decent amount of stuff that I'm going to share with you guys today. Hold on a second. I got to sneeze. Of course, I say it and it goes away. I'll try to mute it real quick if I sneeze. But anyway, so first off, I'm going to start off with, let's start off with stuff that's kind of annoying, aka Hakeem Jeffries, because Donald Trump has come after him. Let's see, once within the last 20 hours, another time 2 days ago, and then I'm actually going to start off with the one from last week that I either didn't get to or I got to just briefly with Caleb. By the way, shout out to Caleb App. Man, he was awesome. He brilliant young man. And I feel like we really got a pulse of yeah, Trump at sneezing season. It really is. It was way worse for me last month, but I've gotten over it for the most part. But anyway, Caleb, man, he's an up and coming force to be reckoned with because he has his own mind, he has his own thoughts, and he's unapologetic, but in a very polite way. Like he was pushing back on some things, and he was asking some serious questions that some of them I hadn't even really thought of. And one thing that I learned talking to him during the show and before the show, and then also a little bit afterwards, is that it's not just him. Like he's speaking for an entire generation. He's not saying that himself, but I'm dubbing it that way because a lot of people his age, they feel what he's feeling. Like the communities that he spends his time around outside of the internet. People are asking these questions, man. Even young conservative kids, they really latched on to Charlie Kirk's words. And when he got killed, there was a void in that generation for a voice, and right now it's being filled with shills and dumbasses and people out there that are just trying to push different narratives. And I'm not saying that Charlie Kirk wasn't pushing a narrative, but the main narrative that I saw was he was pushing people back, or not pushing people, he was leading people back to Christ. And for whatever else he was talking about, that deserves some recognition. So I appreciate that, but I really appreciated having Caleb on. I hope to get him back on sometime very soon. But I'm just glad that I got to see a different viewpoint, and you guys got to see a different viewpoint from somebody that's a lot younger than most of you, and he's a good bit younger than me, 15 years younger than me. Doesn't seem like that when I talk to him. He's wise beyond his years, but I mean, when you have a mother like Ash, it kind of makes sense. And his father too. I've met him, and he's an awesome dude. He's a man's man, I'll tell you that. But yeah, so anyway, thank you, Caleb, again, if you're watching, and if you're not watching, either way, thank you. And hope to have you back on soon, man. So, all right, let's move on over to Truth Social. And so this is Donald Trump from April 24th. Let me add to this stage. And on April 24th, he said, Hakeem High Tax Jeffries is a low IQ individual who is not smart enough to be running the Democrat, quote unquote, running the Democrat Party, and certainly not smart enough to be involved in running the United States of America. It's people like this who almost destroyed our nation in their high tax, open border policies. In the future, Hakeem, a fine American name, will forever be known as High Tax. I think that's pretty funny. And it says, maximum warfare everywhere all the time, Hakeem Jeffries. And apparently that's a quote from him. But I bring this up because Donald Trump shared this on the 24th, like I said. And then let me pull this down for a second just so you guys don't have to look at all my scrolling. But I'm going to scroll back up to what he's talked about recently with Hakeem Jeffries. Another thing, kind of the same ilk, not same ilk, but yeah, I guess same ilk, but the same message is low IQ Democrat minority leader Hakeem Jeffries is nothing but a thug, and he's a danger to our country, President Donald J. Trump. And that was from 20 hours ago. And then obviously this silly picture with him with a bat. I think that's funny. And then one more time, let me scroll again. The reason I bring this up is because, and I'm going back and forth because we've talked about, I guess you could say Donald Trump's doublespeak in a way. But this is also from the 24th. So the same time he was talking about Hakeem Jeffries. And I just noticed this little pattern today. So I wanted to bring this up. So this is also from the 24th, and it was right before the Hakeem Jeffries post. And President Trump says, people and companies that have taken advantage of our country for decades because of the horrible and ridiculous United States Supreme Court decision on tariffs are now supposed to be given back $159 billion. All they had to do was one little half sentence, that the United States does not have to pay back monies that were already paid. And our country would be $159 billion richer. That's more than most countries are worth. Think of it, just one half sentence, and we would have saved $159 billion. Couldn't they have done that for one nation, for our nation? President Donald J. Trump. And so I read that one, and then let me take it back down and scroll up again. And this is the last time I'll do that. And then we'll just get to the normal flow of the show. And then right before the, well, not right before, but 2 days ago, President Trump says this. He says, Hakeem Jeffries just called the Supreme Court of the United States an illegitimate court. This is a low IQ individual who should not be allowed to talk that way about one of the greatest institutions anywhere in the world. He should withdraw the statement immediately. President Donald J. Trump. And then with this awesome picture that I love so much that gives me serious Frank Underwood vibes, but without the depravity of Frank Underwood, but the power, the strength behind it. And so the reason I bring up this post is because, yes, President Trump did not say that the Supreme Court was an illegitimate court, but he obviously critiqued them. He was not happy with their decision on the tariffs, which I totally agree with. Polaris Park, late. Do we still have our pants on? Yes, we still have our pants on as of right now. And stop giving away the hint to what people are, what people need to leave the other channels for and come over to Rumble and X when we cut it out, guys. Come on, keep that a secret. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, thank you, Polaris Park, and good to see you. And Buck Wayne says Hakeem Jeffries has all the charisma of a urinal cake. Not a fan. Yeah, definitely not a fan. He I know this is critiquing his look, but the like droopy eye, low energy, like he's low IQ, but he's also low energy. Like even when he gets passionate, it just reminds me of like when Nancy Pelosi was wasted all the time, and like just there's something about him that just seems a bit sloppy. I mean, Dollar Store Obama is probably one of the best terms I've heard for him. And Obama was, in his own way, he was charismatic. When you see through the bullshit, you realize that it's pretty easy to be charismatic when you're like when you're created to be this character. But anyway, I don't want to get focused on that because I'll get frustrated. But the point of this whole thing was that President Trump is saying that Hakeem Jeffries just called the Supreme Court of the United States an illegitimate court. And then obviously he goes on to say the truth about being a low IQ individual. But the fact that he's bringing up this part, the Supreme Court of the United States, an illegitimate court, I may have to side with Hakeem Jeffries' take, not him, his take on that. I don't think that the Supreme Court as intended by the founders is or by our Constitution is illegitimate, but I think that the current Supreme Court in its status is illegitimate. I mean, we got Ketanji Brown Jackson. That's one that's definitely illegitimate. And why is he pointing towards that? I mean, yes, I understand that Hakeem Jeffries said that statement, but he went after him for other stuff. He went after him for high taxes, open borders. Why this and why now? And why right after the Supreme Court did one thing that we feel as though was bullshit with the tariffs, and then when they do something that we like, but some people are out here defending the Supreme Court and their legitimacy as a whole. And yeah, I thought it was important to bring that up. So take from it what you will. I just wanted to bring it up. And let's see what you guys think. You guys are still making fun of Hakeem Jeffries. I love it. I love this group. Barack and his husband did the nation no favors. Priceless. And Trumpet says that's a card played. Yep, I love it. And that leads in perfectly to our next one, Trumpet. And I'll skip actually a little bit to get to that one because it's only a couple away, I think. Sorry for the scrolling, guys. I don't know. Let me know if the scrolling is annoying to you guys. These pictures are cool. I'll get to them in a second. But this one right here, President Trump 20 hours ago says, I have all the cards. Oops. So as Trumpet said, that's a card played. He's got the wild card, all the wild cards. And it's funny because there's no reverse Uno in this one. There's no pickup 4 or whatever it is. All the wild cards, which means that he can play the card any way that he wants. And that is where I was getting to. And thank you so much, Trumpet. By the way, love you, Trumpet. I don't know if you're down on your trip yet. Like if you've gone down to, I'll just say Florida. But I hope you have a great time. And the next chance that Jackie and I can to join you on that trip, we will do that. But yeah, spot on, Trumpet. He has all the cards, and that's what I think he was doing. I think he's playing all the wild cards at every moment, and everybody else has the worst possible hand. Marcy says, late again to the party, had to finish watching Date Night. So first of all, an LOL. That movie is funny. I'm hoping that you had date night while watching Date Night, and you're not late to the party. You're right on time. You know me. Trumpet says, leaving to visit the mouse tomorrow. Tell the mouse I said hey, and tell the mouse that if he shapes up his area, if he cleans up his I'm gonna go from Tom and Jerry. If he cleans up his hole in the wall and gets all the rats out of there and there's only mice, then I will be more than happy to continue to support him. And Jackie says, how long are you going to be there? I get to Orlando on Thursday. Uh-oh. Sounds like you guys are gonna have a little date down there. Have a good time. You guys can meet up and you know. Jackie just laughed when she heard that. I don't want to make it. I don't want to say what it is, but was it suck on pixie sticks? Yeah. Pixie sticks. That's what it is. Or Fun Dip. Yeah. Actually, Fun Dip's a little bit more like cocaine. And I know you guys aren't going to be doing that. But anyway, back to our originally scheduled program. Buck Wayne right here says, Trump makes chess moves while the Democrats play pull my finger. Oh, that is spot on. I love it. That is so funny. Yeah, man, he's playing a different game than them. He's playing Uno when they're playing checkers. He's playing chess when they're playing pull my finger. He's playing was it Baccarat? I don't even know what that game is. But anyway, let me get to what I wanted to get into next. So that's it for the Trump card part. But I genuinely think that he was pointing towards the Supreme Court being illegitimate, but he's also critiquing Hakeem Jeffries. He's playing their game better than they could ever play it. So I absolutely love it. So all right, let's move to what I wanted to talk about. And this is one of the posts that I enjoyed, and I totally agree with this. I know that some people may not feel this way, but I mean, these people are allegedly, with our selections, if we ever get free and fair elections, they will be elections. But President Trump on April 30th at 1:50 p.m. says, anybody running for president or vice president should be forced to take a cognitive examination prior to entering the race. By doing so, we wouldn't be surprised at people like Barack Hussein Obama or Sleepy Joe Biden getting elected. Our country would be a much better place. I took the exam 3 times during my three terms as president and aced it all 3 times, an achievement that even on a single exam, according to the doctors, has rarely been done before. President Donald J. Trump. And yes, the cognitive test's important, But where's the signal in all this noise? And even though there's multiple pieces of signal, the strongest signal is right here. Actually, the strongest signal is these parts. Elected in 3. So he's saying elected for Sleepy Joe and Barack Hussein Obama, which I think is funny that he puts Barack Hussein Obama, Hussein in quotes, because that's his middle name. It's not a nickname. I guess maybe that's why he's doing it. But either way, elected, selected, not elected. That's what he's hinting at here, in my opinion. This is always my opinion. And then 3 terms, man. He said it. What more of a devolution proof do you need? And shout out to John Harold for that, because this may or may not be my full year around the Badlands circle. Thank you so much, John, for taking a chance on me, man. I really appreciate it. And also shout out to Call Sign Cujo, Bay Theater Dave, Grow Wizard, Dak, and everybody else at Badlands as well. But those 4 guys, before I even got on Badlands, they did a show or 2 with me on Cujo's channel. So let me get comfortable in front of a camera, moving the computer mouse around and showing stuff on screen, working through StreamYard. And as much as I still butcher it from time to time, and I have my mishaps just like the rest of us, if it wasn't for that, I don't think that I would have had the confidence to go out on my own. So thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate you. Love y'all. And I hope to see you guys in here sometime. I know Bay Theater Dave's in here, of course. But I know the other guys have been busy with some stuff. And Bay Theater Dave Band, he's doing his own thing too. His shows right now are awesome. Mostly movie stuff and TV stuff. That's kind of his niche. And obviously him and Jackie have good book sessions tomorrow, going over The Chosen. And let me pull that up. These are Jackie's shows. You guys probably know about them. She has Alphas Make Sandwiches with Christy and Ash on Mondays at 3 p.m. on Badlands. Then on her channel, she has Bible Study for Overthinkers. It says 10 p.m. on Thursdays, but I believe she might be switching up the date. So she'll let you guys know in chat exactly what she's doing. But 12 p.m. tomorrow, she's going to do another episode of Bible Study for Overthinkers. And then obviously today we had Hooks and Harmony, One Hit Wonders, which if we have time, I'm actually going to read through the lyrics of one of the songs because it kind of shocked me, and I'll give you guys my take on it. And then the Good Book Sessions with Bay Theater Dave at 7 p.m. this Sunday. So make sure tomorrow at 12 p.m. go to Jackie's channel, and on tomorrow at 7 p.m. Jackie's channel and Bay Theater Dave's channel, and hit the thumbs up. Oh, and Jackie and I are going to be doing a show on. So we've been doing Unconventional News on Wednesdays at 2 p.m. And that time doesn't work the best for the both of us. So we're going to keep that show on hold for a little bit. And we're going to still do some of the content that was on Unconventional News, but we're going to switch it up. And on what time are we doing? Tuesdays at 7 as of right now. And by that, I mean next week on Tuesday at 7 p.m. on our respective channels. We're going to be doing light work. It's something we've done before. It is, as described, it's light work. Like we're gonna come in, we're gonna be shining light. We're gonna be trying to give out some light. We're going to have content that's light-hearted, and we're gonna have a good time with it. So make sure you stay tuned for that on our channels, and yeah, and of course all the other Badlands channels. Make sure you check those out as well, or Badlands shows. Make sure you check out those as well. Next up is People at 9 o'clock with Alpha. Oh, there's no People. It was on the schedule, but apparently it's off. And then, of course, Saturday Night DPH with John Harold and Chris Paul. Patel Patriot. Sorry. Didn't mean to dox you, John. Just kidding. But anyway, I got onto that topic because I started talking about devolution, and President Trump says he had 3 terms. I mean, what else do we need, people? What else do we need? Frederick Leathers says, isn't why we vote now on Tuesdays at 6:30? It's actually Tuesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern time. So that's why we picked 7 o'clock, because there's a big gap between I think it's Ghost Show at 2 o'clock. So he gets off around 4 until their show at 9 o'clock. So it'll be a good time. And yeah, Jackie says Tuesday at 9. Yeah, I thought the same thing, because they were Fridays at 6:30, and then when they switched to Tuesday, they pushed the time back. All right, so let's get back to our originally scheduled program again. And So devolution proof, cognitive examination, love it. This one I thought was somewhat interesting. So this is from 2:00 on the 30th from President Trump. He says, congratulations to Ali al-Zaidi on his nomination to be the next prime minister of Iraq. We wish him success as he works to form a new government free from terrorism that could deliver a brighter future for Iraq. We look forward to a strong, vibrant, and highly productive new relationship between Iraq and the United States. This is the beginning of a tremendous new chapter between our nations. Prosperity, stability, and success like never seen before. Again, Ali, congratulations, President Donald J. Trump. And I love this one because that is a country that prior administrations have made it bombed out and depleted. We should have never been, in my opinion, we should have never been in Iraq in the first place. The Bushes are the ones that got us into that. The Obama administration didn't do us any favors, and both people suffered, man. Like, we suffered, they suffered. Our sons and daughters, and well, I guess my brothers and sisters, because they're around my age or older, they were sent over there to fight a war on behalf of bankers, man. Just like most of these wars that we've been in the last 100 years or so. I'd say 113 years at least since 1913, and probably even before that. And yeah, so just to see that President Trump is not only a fan of, at least on the surface, of the new prime minister, or the nominee to be the next prime minister, and then prosperity, stability, and success. That's what I want for every country around the world. And the only way we do that is by eradicating the deep state and the evil twin factions in those countries. So I love that he's putting that out there, and I think a lot of you guys would agree with that. And Buck Wayne said it very well. Cheney, that greedy old nasty bastard, played a big part. Yep, he was the glue between Daddy Bush and Baby Bush. And it's funny because you would think it's just father-son thing, but Cheney was pulling those strings, and we know that. But that doesn't mean that W wasn't responsible, because he was the one pulling the strings. He was the puppet master. He was the puppet that was also a puppet master. Next up, we got this one. This one I enjoyed, and I'll actually probably go to the pictures after this, but I might just do the next thing. But anyway, so from 2:30 on April 30th, President Trump says, in honor of the King and Queen of the United Kingdom, who have just left the White House, soon headed back to their wonderful country, I will be removing the tariffs and restrictions on whiskey having to do with Scotland's ability to work with the Commonwealth of Kentucky on whiskey and bourbon, two very important industries within Scotland and Kentucky. People have wanted to do this for a long time, in that there had been great inter-country trade, especially having to do with the wooden barrels used. The King and Queen got me to do something that nobody else was able to do without hardly even asking. A wonderful honor to have them both in the USA, President Donald J. Trump. And that whole thing, I'm not going to go over their visit and everything, because, I mean, there's a bunch of, yeah. Buck Wayne, King Charlie and his faithful horse Camilla enjoyed the White House and the decorum. Yep. Mad funny. Oh, that's good, Buck Wayne. But yeah, I feel like that whole trip was just like the ultimate power move. Bring them here right before the 250th, remind them what they lost. And so what they lost, but also they've had a grip on this country for a very long time, in my humble opinion, through the intelligence community and banks and things like that. And he's just showing them what they've truly lost, and that he's king of the world now. And the sun is setting. I may be saying this prematurely, but I feel as though the sun is setting on the British Empire, and that's what I want. And I'll go to the pictures later, and I'll just remember the King and Queen visiting when we get to the pictures. But next up, this one says, this is actually from May 1st, so yesterday at 11:50 a.m., President Trump says, I am pleased to announce that based on the fact that the European Union is not complying with our fully agreed to trade deal, next week I will be increasing tariffs charged to the European Union for cars and trucks coming to the United States. The tariff will be increased to 25%. It is fully understood and agreed that if they produce cars and trucks in USA plants, There will be no tariff. Many automobile and truck plants are currently under construction with over $100 billion being invested, a record in the history of car and truck manufacturing. These plants staffed with American workers will be opening soon. There has never been anything like what is happening in America today. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. So he's already brought manufacturing back. Now he's forcing their hand. He's making it so that if they want to build something, they can build it in their plants that are here in the United States with American workers, where we get a large portion of the proceeds, or they can pay the 25% tariff and lose all their money. And Europe's already going broke, so I'm pretty sure we know what they're about to do. Next up, this one I really enjoyed. As you can see, my shirt, it's a PFG Columbia shirt. By the way, better than that, don't get the Columbia stuff, get the Scale stuff. The Scale stuff's better quality. I need to get one of these type of like hoodie things, but right now my Scale shirt is dirty. So make sure you check out Scales. They're one of our sponsors, and the quality of their material is so much better. Like this one, all the fringe and stuff is coming off. And yeah, I'm calling you out, Columbia. Yeah, you guys make medium quality products, but Scale stuff is high quality. I love it. But anyway, so we just delivered a huge win for our great fishermen and anglers in Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, and North Carolina. We have just officially approved all state permits for the 2026 red snapper recreational season. For years, our great fishermen have been punished with very short federal fishing seasons despite record high fishing populations, and the states begging to oversee these permits. The incompetent Biden administration tried to shut down the oceans to our fishermen entirely. We love and respect our fishermen, and unlike the Democrats, will only do good for them. So all those who fish red snapper, Trump and NOAA are delivering for you. Enjoy, President Donald J. Trump. So guys, make sure you go out and get that freshly caught red snapper down in Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, and North Carolina, because you know it's going to be coming from American fishermen and women and anglers. And President Trump has made it so that they can actually see a profit off of it. And yes, Bay Theater Dave, me too. He says, I love red snapper. It's so good. It is very good. So thought that was awesome. Let's keep it moving. All right, we'll go ahead and play this video. Actually, no, we'll play the video next. And I will go ahead and show you these pictures first. So these are some AI pictures, obviously, because you know President Trump isn't skinny like that. And by skinny, I mean like he's fit. You know, he's a big guy. He's a sturdy man. And you can also tell by the neck and the head that that's not him. But this is funny. This is President Trump, JD Vance, Marco Rubio. I don't know who these other two people are, but it's obviously a joke. But it's them in the I forgot what that pool is called, reflecting pool, I think, in front of the Washington Monument. And I just thought this picture was pretty funny. Next up, we got this one. This is such a good picture. I don't even know what this is from. So you got Melania looking amazing right here. You got these other people. This dude, I think he's looking at Melania, to be honest. I hope that people aren't calling him out on that for his sake, because he'll get a lot of shit for that. But I mean, come on, who can blame him? But Dan Scavino's face right here, war ready. This dude is ready to this dude is ready to meme you out of existence. To all you haters. Let me switch the song up. But look at that smile. Look at our beautiful first lady just smiling from ear to ear. I love it. I love it. Then this one was pretty cool. This one reminded me of Golden Tempo. Like, this is the Golden Tempo. This is the Donald Trump bust, obviously. Looking fierce. Thought that was cool. The Uno cards I showed you guys before. So this one, there's two pictures. So there's this one first, Melania and or Flotus and POTUS's hair blowing in the wind. Look at that natural calic with the wind. I don't even know if it's called a calic when it's the wind, but the natural flow of the hair. And Bay Theater Dave said, I didn't catch the double entendre. Hey man, it's all right. It's all right. Yes, D Patriot, Dan's the man. Yes, he is. He is my favorite person on the internet. Oh, JD, Marco, and Doug Burgum. Doug Burgum. Got it. And if somebody may have put the lady. X is flipping out trying to find out who the woman is. My guess is that it's a really like bad AI version of Melania, but it also doesn't even look like her hair. Like it looks nothing like her. That's why I don't think it's her. But who knows? Who knows? Maybe it's another secretary, because if we got vice president, secretary of state, and secretary of whatever Doug Burgum's secretary of, I should know this by the way. Let me look it up. Doug Burgum, what is his role? Doug Burgum is Interior Secretary. So Secretary of the Interior. All right. So it's probably another secretary. I'm not totally sure who it is. But if you guys figure it out. Buck Wayne, you're on one today, and I love it. Buck Wayne says Melania makes the last 5 first ladies look like leper whores. Yep. It's so funny because like at first you obviously we compared her to Michelle Obama, but the most recent first lady is Dr. Jill. And man, just a side by side of them, especially like when they were transitioning presidencies or residencies. Just seeing them next to each other, Jill just looked so like, she looked like, if anybody watched Y Chrome's, I think it was 2 weeks ago, I played a video of this one woman in a flight attendant outfit, and she was walking through the airport in her heels, and she just looked amazing, and guys' heads were spinning, and the women just had this look in their eyes of just like pure hatred. And you know that Jill was just like, man, I hate how much better you look than me. Yeah, Caroline did look beautiful in that picture as well. I forgot to mention that. And Unati, she said, where's my beard brush? It's right here. It's right here. I try not to use it too much on the show, because if I do, I'll just be sitting here stroking my beard with my brush. So instead, I just kind of pick at it with my fingers. Feels nice. Feels nice. Oh man. So hold on just a second, guys. You guys can keep looking at Melania. Actually, no, I'm going to switch it over and I'll talk while this is up here. We're going to skip over that one and come back to it. But this picture, man, this picture, look at the difference in our leaders. Well, leaders, because I don't know if that guy's really a leader. I know he's not, but anyway, President Trump just looking awesome, just looking presidential. And then this old hag, yeah, I called him a hag, this decrepit looking thing right here. Ugh, ugh. I'm gonna subjugate you guys to that while I pull up the chat on Rumble so I can get this thing out here, because I did not have the rants pulled up. Sorry about that, y'all. Let me make sure that I didn't miss too many of them. All right, so let me go ahead and read this one. If I miss any of the other ones, I apologize, obviously, y'all, but I will figure it out. I'll figure out a way to get to that. But oh my gosh, this thing is, all right, here we go. So before I continue and we look at this old man, oh, I remember what I was gonna say. So I feel like President Trump obviously came through. It was kind of a humiliation ritual, if you will, for the king, to show him how well America's doing without their help, and how we are slowly moving away from them. And they can join back in if they want. They just have to join us as lower level partners, rather junior partners, rather than being in control, because we're running the show now. The golden age is America and everybody else, and everyone will prosper if they play along, but we're taking our rightful spot at the top of the totem pole. But man, I feel like this picture was put out just because, I mean, he's got all these little things on, medals and all this stuff, and President Trump just has the American flag pin. That's all you need. It's all you need. Oh, this one. So this one I wanted to bring up because obviously people have been talking about it. President Trump put himself, or not put himself, there's a picture of him in front of the oh my god, why is my brain not working right? Mount Rushmore. And when we were at Deadwood, which by the way, Deadwood is coming up in a few weeks. Let's see. 7 weeks, Jackie said. Thank you, Jackie. 7 weeks. Also, Jackie's birthday is that Thursday, June 25th. So make sure you come and celebrate her birthday with us and celebrate Badlands Media in general and the kickoff to the week, basically, of our 250th birthday. So Jackie's birthday on the 25th, getting ready for the 250th of America's birthday, and we're going to have a good old time. Charles has a lot of participation medals. Yep, that's what they give out in the UK, participation medals. And it's funny because they participated in a lot of stuff they weren't even invited to. And he still got medals for it. But back to this more important photo. When we were in Deadwood last year, we were driving up there, I was saying, and I told CanCon, and he admitted later that, I believe he admitted later that I was right. But President Trump is going to be going by Lincoln. If and when he gets up there. And this little thing right here, his hair's already there, man. I think his face is going to be turned a little bit more. Actually, maybe not. Maybe they just shift his head over a little bit, raise it up, and then you could just have this part of his hair be right here. Or maybe this is the top of the hair, and then this part right here is kind of this thing. Have him a little bit at an angle, or I guess the angle would be a little bit more like this. But he's going over here, man. I know he is. That's the spot right there. It's almost like it was made for him. If you guys believe in time travel or looking glass, it was already supposed to be there. So just wanted to bring that up. So yeah, take that, CanCon, even though I know you agree. Did I miss any? Oh, this video. So let me make sure I get through all the pictures first. Yeah, all right. So I'm gonna play this video. This is about, I don't know how long it is. It's pretty short, 39 seconds. And it's President Trump it says President Trump delivers remarks in the villages. There's not too much here, but I mean, I always like to hear him talk. And he posted this video, so we're going to go ahead and play it. Oh no, I do not want picture in picture. There we go. All right, here we go.
No, we're in a war because I think you would agree we cannot let lunatics have a nuclear weapon. Do you agree? Whoa. Because if you read the fake polls and things, it says, well, it's only a 20% or 25%. It's nonsense.
So at the end, he says, if you read the polls, the fake polls, it says it's 20%. I think he's talking about enrichment of uranium or whatever it is, how close they are to a nuclear weapon, speaking about Iran. But whenever I hear him talk, especially about nukes, and especially about lunatics having nuclear weapons, I think of one country that's been pretty, not a word, but lunatic-esque of lunatic when it comes to nuclear weapons that they claim for the longest time they didn't have, but we know that since JFK's time, they probably had them. And it also starts with an I. And I think you guys can guess which country I'm talking about. But I'm still in this group of people. I still have this stance that this war against Iran is not against, first of all, it's definitely not against the Iranian people. It's against the evil twin in Iran. And I think that the country that is controlling the evil twin in Iran just happens to be considered part of our group of allies in this war on Iran, or war with Iran. So I just wanted to play that because I thought that was very interesting. He obviously doesn't say it there, but that's my take on it. It's my take and I'm sticking with it. I just realized I cut out. It's my take and I'm sticking with it. And yes, Israel would be the country I'm talking about. And again, when I talk about Israel, I'm not talking about the Israeli people. I'm not talking about the Jewish people as a whole, because that's just silly. That'd be like blaming the American citizens and the farmers in America and the good teachers and the the first responders and our military for the decisions of a few ill-meaning people in places of power. I'm talking about the regime, the group that wants to push the greater Israel message, and that movement. I'm not a fan of it because they're trying to do things that a large portion of our country has accused the United States of doing for decades, and in some cases our government has done these things, but yeah, we're not going out there and regime changing everybody. I don't care what people say. I don't believe that this quote unquote regime change in Iran is what people say it is. I think that if anything, it is something that was discussed between the good factions in Iran and the good factions in the United States, because we still have bad factions here. But yeah, I don't see it the same way that's definitely not the way the news sees it. But the people that are so worried about what's going on in Iran doesn't mean we shouldn't question it. I think we should question everything. We need answers. I don't think we're going to get them from our government. I don't think we're going to get them from the news. I think we're going to get them from our own discernment, and most importantly, praying to God, asking God for discernment, for knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, and the ability to figure out what's going on, because this is a big old fog of war that's going on right now. We've got psychological warfare out the ass. We've got alleged physical warfare. And when I say alleged, I don't mean that things aren't happening. I just mean that at the size that people are saying that things are happening doesn't necessarily mean that they are. I like what Frederick Leather said, not a regime change, a regime leadership change like in Venezuela. Yes. And the key to that is we're not destabilizing countries. I know that the news is putting out there that we're destabilizing Iran, that we're making things worse for them. And it may be worse for them. Don't get me wrong. It probably is. I mean, if there's any type of kinetic battle going on over there, which I believe that there is some, it's definitely going to be worse for the people on the ground. But another reason why it's bad for them could be because the evil faction over there is holding them hostage. They're saying that if you don't help us defeat what they would deem the evil United States, which I would say would be the good guys in the United States, President Trump and people that are truly loyal to him, not necessarily these people in this photo, because they're part of his cabinet and his vice president doesn't mean that they're loyal to him. But the people that are actually the American people, let's put it that way, the American people and what we want, they want to destroy us, and we're not going down without a fight. We're not going down at all, but we're definitely going to put up a fight. I saw somebody talking about, give me just a second. Rocky Top Apologist says, Cam, I swam in that reflecting pool during July 4th on the mall. They used to do in the 80s. The Beach Boys played among others. That's pretty cool, man. I didn't realize that people used to be able to go. Well, I guess I did. I've seen footage of it. That's really cool. And I wish I could go in the reflector. Maybe that's what they're doing. Maybe they're cleaning it up so that people can go back in there. I bet you it was way too unsanitary to go in there before they started cleaning it up. So AOB 22 says, come on, man. They're our best ally over there. Good one, AOB. I like that joke. And Pacinini says British establishment has controlled it all. I would pretty much agree with that. I mean, Britain had a huge hand in the establishment of the state of Israel in I think it was 1948, maybe in 49, could have been 47. I'm pretty sure it was 48. But yeah, I mean, the British have had a huge hand in all these different places in Africa, the Middle East, and I would say even in Europe. I think some of these countries in Europe that are in the European Union, where Britain is not technically in the European Union, I think they still get their messaging from the crown. And the crown isn't necessarily the people on top of the crown, because I mean, we learned a long time ago and this is just one portion of it, but the Rothschilds controlled the crown for the longest time. I mean, starting back in the late 1700s, early 1800s. So interesting. Buck Wayne says robe and goofy hat. Excuse me. Buck Wayne says robe and goofy hat religions are at the root of many countries suffering misery dipped in shit. Yes. And it's funny because robe and goofy hat is there are a lot of religions that are robe and goofy hat religions. And I always thought it was interesting that their dress is so similar. I mean, in the Catholic Church, the cardinals wear almost the exact same outfits as some of the rabbis. You've got the Jesuits. You've got there's plenty of other ones. You've got I don't even know what they're called, but the people in the different Islamic religions, or the sects of Islam. You've got, there's plenty of robe and goofy hat religions out there, and I think that they all serve the same master, and that is not our God, the one true God. That's my personal opinion. Could be wrong. And yes, like Jackie said, please hit the thumbs up, y'all. I see we got 24 over on Facebook now. Thank you so much for picking that number up. Let's keep it up, y'all. Oh no, Keto Higgins says the reflecting pool is still too deep for an Obama chef. Oh man, that story will not age well, I'll tell you that. No way that man drowned in that little tiny bottle of water. Buck Wayne, yes, Muslims, Sikhs, Satanists, etc. Yeah, those are other groups, and I'm telling you, none of these people serve the one true God, because if they did, and even some of the people in our own sects of Christianity or whatever, can't even really think of other religions besides the ones I mentioned, and then Christianity. But we have people that are dressed in plain clothes that serve these goofy hat and robe religions, and just beware of false prophets, guys. Beware of false prophets. So, all right, I could probably move that picture off. Let's see. Let's finish up on Truth Social, because we're already at an hour, and even though people's not coming up, I would like to not draw this out too long, because I've gone off on some diatribes that I appreciate going off on. There are things that I've been thinking about. Some of the stuff is a little bit of pent-up thoughts that I've had from last week, because Caleb and I had such a good discussion. We only got through a couple topics, but they were fantastic, and I wouldn't trade that for anything. So I'm not going to go all the way back to last week in the content from there, but although I did with a couple things. But let's keep it moving. So this is from, all this stuff's pretty recent. So this is says an hour ago. Actually, I wonder what'll happen. I think I can refresh this page. Let me refresh this page and see what happens. Oh my God, thought I was going to cut out on you guys. Thank you, Lord. President Trump from today at 6:47 p.m. said, "I will soon be reviewing the plan that Iran has just sent to us, but can't imagine that it would be acceptable and that they have not yet paid a big enough price for what they have done to humanity and the world over the last 47 years. Thank you for your attention to this matter." It goes right back into these goofy hat, or the robe and goofy hat religions, man. We're not talking about the Iranian people. We're not talking about the legitimate Iranian government, if they even have one at this point, which I believe that they're getting to that point where they have one. We're talking about the people that controlled Iran for the last 47 years. If he was talking about the current day Iranians, or the Persians of current day, he wouldn't have said 47 years. So remember that. Oh, I love that it went right back to that picture. Man, that's such a good picture of Melania. I hope that someone frames that and gives it to her. Especially, I hope they cut out everybody except for her and then Dan Scavino right over her shoulder. Just looking. This one's great. So this is from right before the show, 7:09 p.m. President Trump said on Truth Social, "So ironic that crying Chuck Schumer and the Democrats are hiring sleazebags like Barack Hussein Obama's crooked former Attorney General Eric Holder, gross, and others of that ilk to look into voter integrity." To look into it. Remember, guys, when they say they're looking into voter integrity, when they say that they're I am going to read that one. D. She says, "Read the Trump truth about Bill Maher." Yeah, that one's coming up next. That might actually be the last one before we move on, because that one's priceless and it's so important. But back to this one. When they say that they're looking into voter integrity, that's what they're doing. They're looking into it. They're looking into how to corrupt voter integrity and how to keep us from finding a way to get voter integrity. That's what these people mean. They do double speak or I guess it's like karma clearing type speak, where they tell you the truth, but they say it in words that silver-tongued Obama was really good at doing. And he duped a lot of people with that. And a lot of people are waking up to it, but there's still plenty that are still asleep to it. So he says to look into voter integrity when the same group of human garbage. Oh, I love it. I'm going to start over because I love this whole thing. I'm going to read it all the way through. So ironic that crying Chuck Schumer and the Democrats are hiring sleazebags like Barack Hussein Obama's crooked former Attorney General Eric Holder and others of that ilk to look into voter integrity when this same group of human garbage rigged the 2020 presidential election, fake election. Get tough, Republicans. They're coming, and they're coming fast. That's what she said. They're no good for our country. They almost destroyed it, and we don't want to let that happen again. These are highly dishonest people who are in many ways treasonous, and that they are trying to destabilize the United States of America in what some would call a war. Republicans must terminate the filibuster and approve all the necessary safeguards we need for elections to protect the American people during the upcoming midterms. Make America great again, President Donald J. Trump. And so President Trump says Republicans, he says all that stuff, and he says Republicans, and I know uniparty guys, I get it, but hear me out. Republicans must terminate the filibuster and approve all the necessary safeguards we need for elections to protect the American public during the upcoming midterms. He says all of that, and he says they must do it and approve all the necessary safeguards. What happens when they don't do it? Are we canceling the midterms? My vote is I hope so. I don't know if it's going to happen. I could see another fake election coming through, but he says that we must do it and that we need to approve all the necessary safeguards. And if they don't happen, then are we just going to go about and have the election? I don't think so, man. I really hope that they talk about it tonight on DPH, because I know that Chris has had plenty of great takes on it. Same with John. And last week's episode was fantastic. But I genuinely believe that if these things don't happen, which I don't think they're going to happen, I don't see how we can have an election, because if we've had a rigged election if we had a rigged election in 2020, which we did, and the same group of human garbage is doing the same thing, and we don't put up the safeguards, which I don't think can happen in that time period. I just don't see it happening. How are we supposed to have an election? I don't know. And would that help us get back on track with what our Constitution originally intended when it comes to elections and to representation? Because if that shifts the window of votes, or of the midterms, of voting, of Congress, what do we do then? I don't know, man. I think that President Trump and true loyalists to the American people have at least some plan in place. I'm not going to pretend to know the plan, but I think I can read the tea leaves, and I think that there's stuff out there that will help us get back to where we should be, back on track. And I think this is all part of Operation Warp Speed, because I truly believe Operation Warp Speed was not just about the vid. It wasn't just about the vaccines. It wasn't just about 2 weeks to slow the spread. It was about speeding up all of their evil plans and the ways that they were going to run this country into the ground so that they can't get to their plan of 2030. And it just all goes by the wayside because they have to throw out all their ammunition all at once, and we're prepared for all of it. So that was a good one. And yeah, I said the Hakeem Jeffries one already. So just like D Patriot was saying, here's the Bill Maher one, and I absolutely love this post. I'll pull it up here, and I will talk to you guys for a second before I read it. It's from 7:12 p.m., right before the show. I'm not even going to pretend that that's a boop. Maybe it's a Badlands boop, but I don't think it's a boop for me. I would love to get a boop from President Trump. President Trump, you want to boop me on the nose real quick? Let me know that I'm doing all right. I would love that, but as long as I have my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ and God telling me that everything's going to be all right, I don't need the boop. But the boop would be fun for this whole period of my life where I'm just here playing with form until hopefully one day I'm graced with the presence of the Lord in heaven. That would be a fun little hat tip. But until such time, I'm going to go ahead and read this post. And if you guys remember, this had to be like a month or so ago, maybe a couple months ago, I read a post where President Trump was talking about Bill Maher and how scared he was to have dinner with President Trump, how he basically admitted that President Trump was right. On other shows, he's talked about him being right. And I know Ash for sure. I know there were some other people too, but I think it was on OnlyLands when I was on there. But we were just talking about, she was talking about, but we were talking about this guy. It's another TV character. Just because Bill Maher says something that we like, Ghost is definitely one of those people too. And of course, Chris Paul. But just because people that we didn't like and don't like say something nice about President Trump, i.e. Tucker Carlson, he's one of those people that, yes, he did a good job of towing the line for a while. But they always end up showing their true colors because they serve a different master than us, guys. They don't serve the Lord. They serve earthly masters. And President Trump just comes out and he basically just, in a lot of words, he goes about saying people like Bill Maher and any of these other TV characters, don't follow them. Don't trust them. Don't lean on their every word. They're here to deceive us. They're not here for us. They're not here telling the truth. They wouldn't have these platforms, these huge platforms that never get canceled, even though they say horrific and horrendous things about our children and about other Americans. I love this. Sorry, I just saw this all of a sudden. MZ Mauser says, Cam meme with Jesus boop. Yes, that's the only boop that I truly want. If I get, well, first of all, I get Jesus boops all the time. These are they're so great that there's no way to like put them out into like physical form. You just they're in your heart and your soul. When you get a Jesus boop, it's like it just changes your life, man. It really does. It's the best thing you could possibly get before you get to heaven is a Jesus boop. So shout out to you, MZ Mauser. That was awesome. But back to our originally scheduled program. President Trump on True Social today at 7:12 p.m. says, I hate seeing Fox and other conservative outlets constantly making low-rated Bill Maher relevant as it pertains to the Republican Party and beyond. I love that he says and beyond, because when he says Republican Party, I assume that he's not talking about the uniparty Republicans. He's talking about the people that consider the Americans that consider themselves part of the Republican Party, which two-party system is bullshit in the first place. But then he says and beyond. Love it. Bill Maher is a weak and ineffective person who I got to know very well during my dinner with him at the White House. He was nervous, scared, and the first words he uttered as he entered the Oval Office were, "Can I have a drink?" It was very endearing, but at the same time, absolutely pathetic. He was much different from what people think, but last night I happened to watch Gavin Newsom, an admittedly low IQ person who said he can't read a speech, is dumb, and essentially incompetent, and he took Bill Maher over the coals. Bill Maher was defenseless and totally deficient. Either he didn't have the knowledge or he choked, because Gavin went on and on about how good California is doing while it's doing very poorly, having by far the worst year it's ever had, where for the first time in history, more people are leaving than coming. Bill Maher started by saying that California was doing poorly, only to have Newsom speak for an extended period of time and lie about the facts. All you have to do is look at what's happening to Los Angeles, San Francisco, the horrendous homeless problem all over every street, the railway catastrophe that is billions of dollars over budget and has never been built, the inability to rebuild the 25,000 homes that were destroyed by the fire because he refused to allow water into the street from the southwest. If it weren't for our superstar EPA administrator Lee Zeldin and me, they wouldn't have any homes being built right now. Fox should stop putting this person on. He's not representing us. You look weak, stupid, and ineffective. I hate seeing it. Don't use Bill Maher any longer as a representative of you. I hate hearing that Bill Maher said Bill Maher is a moron, though slightly more talented than Jimmy Kimmel, President Donald J. Trump. And I love how at the end he had to throw that shot at Jimmy Kimmel because Jimmy Kimmel is trash. I'm so glad that Adam Carolla no longer works with Jimmy Kimmel, because Adam Carolla I thought was hilarious. Jimmy Kimmel is a dick. He always has been. He was never truly funny on the Man Show. He was kind of just there with the other guys. And I used to love that show when I was a teenager. And Adam Carolla is, even though he's a TV character, he's one that he picked the right side of TV. Let's put it that way. And MZ Mauser says, I like Lee Zeldin. And Maggie Bundy says, good to see you, Maggie. Says Zeldin is fierce. And yes, so all those things are true, or not true, but obviously it's true that MZ Mauser likes Lee Zeldin, and Zeldin is fierce. He does appear fierce. Yes, we saw him recently on clips. But remember, these are all TV characters, guys. They're all TV characters. Yep, Jimmy was always a creep. Yeah, he really was. He was one of those people that, like, you could tell that if he didn't have a show that made money and got, like, I guess, I don't want to call them fame whores, but women that wanted to be on TV or to be exposed on TV, if he didn't have a platform to get them out there, then no woman would ever want to talk to him. And even though Adam Carolla is interesting looking fella, he at least had charisma. Has charisma, let's put it that way. And yes, Maggie Bundy, girls on trampolines. Yep, that's what got me. You know, as a young boy, I played on trampolines a lot, you know? We were jumping on trampolines, doing flips, all that stuff. And then as I got older, I turned on TV and I saw women jumping on trampolines, and I was like, so that's what trampolines were meant for. I get it. They were meant to entertain children and then entertain grown adults. Anyways, that one was fantastic by President Trump. And I would substitute Bill Maher. Oh, and also Gavin Newsom lying through his teeth, but we all know that. I do pray for California because I was born in California, didn't live there long, but it's the state that both my brother and I were born in. My dad went to medical school there. My family lived there for a long time. My mom worked there I guess technically for the government. No, I guess not for the, I think she worked for the federal government, not the state government. Actually, I know she did. But California has done a lot for my family. I have family that lives out there right now. And it's a beautiful state, man. It's the Golden State for a reason. Golden State needs to be part of the Golden Age. I'm not giving up on California, and neither is President Trump. But people like Bill Maher, man. Not just Bill Maher. People like Bill Maher. The Jimmy Kimmels of the world. The Bill Mahers. The Gavin Newscombs. The everybody. The Prince King King Charles. All these people that pretend to be authority figures. They don't have our best interest in mind, and they're not experts on anything. Well, they're experts on some things, but not experts on things that matter to us. So to round out this Truth Social segment, which is basically half the show, because more than half the show, stop following these TV characters. Follow the Lord. That's all that matters, guys. Jesus is king. The only king that I subscribe to is Jesus. And yes, there can be other kings in this realm, whatever. They're not kings over my life. Jesus is king, and that's all that matters. And with that being said, screw you, Bill Maher. Screw you, Jimmy Kimmel. Screw you, Gavin Newsom. Screw you, all you TV characters, and screw myself when I'm saying stuff that doesn't align with God's truth, which is the only truth. If I'm saying something wrong, I may have a better heart than these people, but I'm no better than them when it comes to my words. If I'm saying something that's wrong, it's not about me. It's about the Lord. And yes, King of Kings, Lord of Lords, absolutely. And I'm blessed enough to have a platform on Badlands Media to be able to talk to you guys about this stuff and give you my opinions on it. But it's only my opinion. I'm definitely not always right. I'm definitely not always wrong. But when I am right, it's not me being right. It's God being right. God's always right. And I just happen to find a way to convey God's message in a humanly way. And all the other times it's just my sinful nature as a human being. And that goes for all of us. So never feel bad when you're wrong. Just know where your priorities lie, and make sure that you're focusing on God and not on these earthly things, these worldly things, because they will always steer you wrong, but the Lord never will. So with that being said, I'm going to head over to X, show you guys a couple things on X, and then I'm going to cut YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Kick, and then we'll start wrapping up the show. So also, let me repost the show. I forgot to do that on X. Sorry, X followers. I know you guys probably already saw it, but yeah, I got a show going on right now. If you guys want to come check it out. Anyway, so let's see. The stuff on X is a little bit more fun. We'll get to. Let's wrap it up with the America stuff because there's a lot of it. But before, actually no, we'll let's start with the Lord because that's where we were just talking about and the most important thing. So as we move over to X, formerly known as Twitter, I got a few posts that I want to read for you guys, a few that I want to show to you. If you don't mind, hit the thumbs up, the like button, the heart button, whatever you have on your platform. I know I've asked a couple of times. I really appreciate you guys. And yeah, just I'm truly grateful. I really am to be able to be here with you guys and trying to spread as much love and peace of mind as possible. But just know that I'm human. I'm not perfect. None of us are. There's only been one perfect human, and he was also 100% God while also being 100% human. His name was and is Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. And other than that, man, I'm just doing my best. So thank you guys. I really appreciate it. Let's move over to X, and I'm going to go through this part. This segment will be, we'll call this the Lord segment, but the whole show is the Lord's show because it's all for him to bring him praise and glory. And even though I say silly things and do silly things, God has given me the ability to think for myself and have free choice. So I'm just grateful for that. So try to do the best I can, but you know, we all fall short and that's okay. The goal is to strive for the best. And one great way to do that is by reading Eric Rice's post. No, I'm just kidding. But no, this post, and first of all, I'm not kidding because a lot of his posts lead you in the direction that, or at least they lead me in the right direction. But he's a human as well. He's not perfect. Nobody's perfect. But this post, I loved it, and the ending of it is perfect because it's Psalms 5:3. But let me go ahead and read this for you guys. So, and actually, I'm going to switch up the music for this one. Let's see. I don't think I played this. Ooh, this is a good one. All right. Let me get a sip of water real quick, or coffee. I'll get some coffee. Ooh, re-energized. All right. So this is from Eric Rice on April 28th at 9:59 p.m. or a.m. Morning post. And it makes sense because this is something that I've been trying to do more and more often. A lot of times I'll wake up. I start my day a lot later than most people. I'm a night owl. I'm a night owl, so I stay up late a lot. And but this is a great way to start your morning or start your day whenever your day starts. So Eric Rice on X writes, starting your morning in prayer sets the tone for everything that follows that day. Prayer centers your heart and reminds you that you are not walking through the day alone. There is something powerful about placing the day in God's hands before it even begins. Can't tell you guys how important that is. But prayer isn't just meant for just a single moment. It can become a steady thread woven throughout your day. In your small pauses, while you're working, traveling, or even in moments of stress, you can turn your thoughts back to God. A quiet thank you, a whispered request for guidance, or a moment of stillness can reconnect you instantly. When you begin your day in prayer and return to Him often, your perspective shifts. Worries feel lighter, decisions clearer, and even ordinary moments take on deeper meaning. Over time, prayer becomes less of a routine and more of a relationship, one that grows stronger with every moment you choose to turn towards Him. Let me read that one more time. Over time, prayer becomes less of a routine and more of a relationship, one that grows stronger with every moment you choose to turn toward Him. That's the thing, guys. To me, learning that prayer isn't just, and I'll read actually, let me go ahead and read Psalms first. So Psalms chapter 5, verse 3. In the morning, Lord, you hear my voice. In the morning, I lay my requests before you and wait expectantly. Love that. And shifting my perspective on prayer from a request to a conversation with God has done wonders for my life. Because I am not equal to God. I am nowhere close to equal to God, not even close to His level, not close to Jesus Christ's level. But they've accepted me. They've accepted me into their family. They accepted me the moment I was born, before I was born. But I have a voice. With the Lord, I always have a voice. It can be an angry voice. It can be a slanderous voice. I choose not to do those things as much as I can. But it can be any type of voice that I want. He's given me a voice. And even for those that are mute, that don't have the ability to speak, the mind voice, the voice of your mind, the voice in your spirit can still speak. And the fact that we can connect with God that way is fantastic. It's amazing. It's a miracle. It really is a miracle that we can connect with God like that. And to be able to ask things of him, to tell things to him, tell him your deepest fears, tell him your greatest accomplishments, tell him things that you don't want to tell anybody else, things that you're ashamed to say. I would say God doesn't care, but God cares. God cares so much that it doesn't matter what you think about your feelings. Lay them on him. He'll let you know. He'll find a way to let you know. He communicates to us in all ways, all different types of ways. He's everywhere all at once. He's the Alpha and the Omega. He's been here. He was here before we got here. He's going to be here after we leave. He's always going to be here. He always has been here. And he always will be here. So the fact that you have a relationship with God, with our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, and that you can talk to them at any moment, no matter if you feel like you're the loneliest person in the world, it could be your dying breath. That's why you hear so many people on their deathbed. Actually, that reminds me, I'm going to talk about bread in a minute, but Jackie's laughing over here. On their deathbed, you hear them turning their life over to Christ. You hear them praying to God, and some may say that's too late. It's not up to us to decide. It may be too late. I would not wait. If I was you, I would definitely not wait. But I will tell you right now that giving your life over to God as soon as possible is the best move. And it makes life so much easier. It's the only non-cowardice way to just give up on everything. And when I say on everything, on almost everything, on all the worldly things, because there are lots of ways that you can give up. If we gave up on trying to free the world from evil, that would be doing God a disservice. That's a cowardly way. If we gave up on our families because things got tough, that's a cowardly thing. But giving up your life to Christ, that is heroic. That is the opposite of cowardice. That is the only way to give it up and give it all over, and not give your power over to flesh. So love that post from Eric Rice. Thank you, Eric, for sharing that, and thank you for coming on Badlands, introducing us to you. I think it was Rug Pull Radio was the first time you came on, and one of the things I love that he spoke about on Rug Pull Radio was when he was talking about Bitcoin and how he's a fan of Bitcoin when it comes to the financial system and everything. He made sure to let everybody know it's all bullshit in a way. He didn't say these exact words, but it's all bullshit because it's like these things are not. I don't care what anyone says. These things are not of God. These are man-created things. God has given us a path. God has given us direction, and helped us to navigate through this sinful world as best as we can. But it's not the end all be all. There's only one end all be all. We know what that is. Maggie says, I'm hungry, Cam. No food talk. Well, I can't promise that. I'm sorry. Jackie says, show the bread on the counter behind you. When I do the bread segment in a second, Jackie, if you want, you can come up and do it. I know you said you're working, but I'll give you a little bit of heads up. I'll do it pretty quickly because it actually ties into the Lord's segment. Frederick Leathers says, if a deathbed confession is real, they bear as saved as the man on the cross. Even he mocked Christ first. I love that. I love that. I love that. I'm letting that breathe for a second. I love it. No, that's not rude. Oh, that's not rude, Maggie. That's not rude. That's just reality. Get over it. Jackie says, I'm also doing the Lord's work. I'm doing some Bible study for tomorrow's show. Nice. What are you guys going to be talking about tomorrow, Jackie? Talking donkeys. Oh, man. I don't mind to say it. Talking ass, huh? No. Talking ass. A talking donkey?
Yes.
So talking ass?
There's a talking donkey in the Bible.
There's a talking donkey in the Bible. Wow, that's cool. God, I need to get back on my Bible study. The fact that I don't know that there's a talk. You know what? I'm slightly upset with the churches that I went to when I was a kid, because if they told us about talking donkeys, I mean, I would have been locked in. Shrek.
So I was gonna find the best donkey clip to play tomorrow for tomorrow's show. So if you have one,
Jackie's talking to me, and you guys probably can't hear me, and or can't hear her, but she said something about finding her best clips for talking donkey clips for tomorrow. And MZ Mauser says Jackie sourdough. Smile with the tongue out and a thumbs up. Yes, that's what we're going to be talking about. And D Patriot says Balaam's donkey. Balaam's donkey. See, Jackie, I mispronounce things too. Oh. So Jackie says it's Balaam. Balaam's donkey. And MZ Mauser says before Shrek. Yes, before Shrek. So Jackie, what book, chapter, and verses? Yasman 19 is asking. Eleanor says Numbers 22, 21 through 39. I think that's the donkey part. 28 through 30. So specifically the donkey part is 28 through 30. Yasman. And like Eleanor 2000 said, good to see you, Eleanor, by the way, and CKL and Yasman and all the people, Tracy Nanette, Jennifer Ray. She's over on Facebook now. I saw your name a little bit earlier, but Numbers 22, 21 through 39 is the whole segment. But yeah, that's the whole story. But the specifically, would you say 28 through 30 is the donkey part? So, all right, let's keep it moving. And this is something that I've never felt bad about, guys, is I know that, first of all, Ash is one of the first people, and I love her so much for this. But she was the one that really let me realize that foul language, I understand. There are people that don't like it. I get it. But we're all sinners. And just because I use foul language and some of us use foul language, not that I ass in that sense is not. The joke was that mixing the curse word or the part of the body with a donkey was my joke, but it doesn't take away from my love of the Lord. I say things, I make jokes. That's how I play with form here on this earth, and God will let me know if I'm on the wrong path. There's definitely been times where I've gotten cynical with my words, and I felt that nudge or that kick in the ass. It's like how I did that, kick in the ass to say, Cam, not today. That's Satan seeping through you right now. But there are other times where it's good-hearted fun, guys. We're just having a good time here. This one is fantastic. This is a clip from Tim Tebow, who, by the way, my thoughts and prayers are with plenty of people. David Allen Coe's family. He just recently passed away. I believe it was yesterday. May he rest in peace. He was another foul-mouthed man that I think deep down he was probably a really good man. I didn't know him, obviously, but he brought a lot of joy to the country music world and just Americans and the world in general. Real funny guy, in my opinion. His songs and stuff, clever lyrics. But Jackie's laughing. Jackie says, "Yep, Genesis is like Bravo TV." That's funny. That's good. And Unati says the Old Testament has tons of awesome stories. I love it. Yes. And Jackie says, I laugh because your chair made a farting noise. It's probably because of all that ass talk. It's probably God's way of saying, wrap it up with your stupid jokes. Let's keep it moving. Don't call me darling. You don't call me darling. Yep. David Allen Coe, may he rest in peace. But and also D Patriot says, love Tim Tebow. Yeah, he is, again, I've said this plenty of times. He is the one. I love CanCon. I love JB, who actually went to UF. They're both Gator fans, but Tim Tebow is the only Gator football player. I kind of like Emmitt Smith in a way, But Tim Tebow is the only Gator football player that while he was at Florida, I caught myself rooting for him. And my dog fan friends did not like that. But I'll be honest with you guys, I didn't care because I knew what Tim Tebow stood for. And I saw through the people would slander him and say that he was a fake Christian, all this stuff. And I would just watch the way that he moved on and off the field. And I was just like, how can you say that? Like that first of all, who are you to judge? There's a difference if he was out here physically abusing people, verbally abusing people, and then calling himself a Christian. I could see you at least critiquing his actions, but who are we to judge who's here that get upset? There's people that get on Jackie for doing Bible study or for doing shows talking about the Lord. And in my head, I'm just like, I guess in my head, because I don't really say anything out loud, but in my head, I'm just like, who are you? Who are you to say that stuff? Like, I know Jackie's heart, and I don't know her heart fully because I'm not her, but I know her heart as full as anybody else can know her heart. And I know that she loves the Lord. I mean, the fact that she's talking about him off the air, the fact that she is doing all this work to try to bring something to everybody else that's maybe uncomfortable reading the Bible on their own, uncomfortable trying to dig into it because they feel like they don't know enough. They feel like they're new to their faith. They feel like they're undeserving. I mean, I guarantee you at some point in her life, Jackie felt that way, but she got through it. And the way she got through it was through prayer and talking to the Lord and praying to God to decide, praying to God and asking for guidance. And it led her to this. And I think it's awesome. I'm so proud of her for it. That's probably my favorite thing about her is the fact that she's doing this. She's sharing her beliefs and her faith with all of y'all out there, because I know that when I was younger, it was tough, man. It was tough feeling comfortable because you felt alone. And the fault there is that we think that other people's opinions matter. They don't matter. You can listen to their opinions because they can help guide you from time to time. But as long as those opinions are grounded in the Lord, other than that, it's just worldly things. And at that point, it's up to you. It's up to you. Are you gonna follow somebody else's words about you, or are you gonna follow what you feel from the Lord? And yes, you're gonna make mistakes along the way. That's when you ask for repentance. That's when you ask for guidance. You ask for wisdom, understanding. Why am I in this situation, Lord? He'll tell you. Every time he'll tell you. You just got to make sure you listen. I just saw somebody on here. Deb Perry Jordan. He's saving children. Exactly. Rocky Topologist says, speaking of Tebow, ESPN, Lee Corso, why did Corso wear the stealth bomber lapel pin? I don't know, but I always thought that was very interesting, Rocky Top. If you can do some digging on that and let me know, that would be huge. Unati said it best. Jackie is doing what he called her to do. Yes, exactly. He is doing what he called her. She is doing what he called her to do. And that's all that matters. The people that come and attack you, those oftentimes that's not even those people's opinions. That is evil seeping through them. That's how Satan works. That's how Lucifer works. He works through people. The Lord works through people. The Lord's just way stronger, way better, way more important. Satan has a little man syndrome complex, whatever you want to call it. Napoleon complex. Satan's just pissed that he's not God. Screw him, man. Sorry, bro. You had your shot. And you ruined it. We're not going down with you, man. So anyway, back to Tim Tebow. So obviously, rest in peace, David Allen Coe. But Tim Tebow's father passed away recently. I think it was before the show last week. And if not, it was during the week. I think it was before the show last week. But this isn't talking about his father, but this is something that, I mean, his father obviously his father and his mother had a huge impact on his life. He was homeschooled. He did a lot of mission work when he was a kid, traveling the world. That's part of the reason why he wasn't in schools. But I think it was Bowles Academy was the school that he played football for in high school. I remember in Jacksonville. I remember learning about them. And Tim Tebow, man, he is stuck by his faith through all the critique and all that stuff, because I don't think he truly cares about what people think about him. And that got instilled in him at a young age. I think that in a way, I don't know everything about his life. Maybe I'll ask him a little bit about it whenever I'm on his show. But General Quast, I know that he grew up in a tribe in Africa at one point in his life. He He's seen the world from a different point of view. And I think that's what helps I think for a lot of these men that grow up like that, it helps make them such strong men and strong in their faith, because they're not getting the same type of propaganda that we're getting when we're growing up. They're seeing the world for what it is. They're seeing God's work everywhere. They can see God's work in tribes that don't have electricity. They can see God's work in a fighter plane with all kinds of technology. I mean, think about that. This man at one point, this is talking about General Quads, this man at one point was living basically in the jungle. And correct me if I'm wrong, people in the chat, if you know his story better than I do, but basically in the jungle. And he ended up in one of, if not the most expensive machinery that the American military has, with all kinds of technology, at least on the record, because there's obviously black ops projects with crafts, which is something I'm definitely asking him about on Space Revolution. But to go from the smallest amount of, I guess you could call it technology, but stones, rocks, tools, things like that, fire as being a main source of energy, to these highly intricate aircrafts, these crazy machines that travel so fast, and to still be able to be grounded in the Lord. That's the only way you're able to do those things, man. What a culture shock that would be for most of us. And I know that he had time in between that, but what a culture shock that would be to go from that to this world, this first world. And so anyway, rest in peace to Tim Tebow's father. Obviously, in my opinion, obviously a great man to raise a son like him. And shout out to his mom as well, of course. She's still with us. But this is a video of Tim Tebow. It's 23 seconds. And let me cut the music and I'll share this with you guys. So let me read this first. Tim Tebow says, "I'll be honest, I've spent a lot of time trying to figure out my life, mapping it out, planning the next move, trying to make sense of my circumstances when things didn't go as planned. But here's what God has been teaching me. There's a difference between asking what's next and asking what does God want. Those are very different questions. Your uncertainty isn't a dead end. It's an invitation to stop white knuckling your own plan and trust that his purpose is bigger than anything you could map out on your own. So let me ask you, are you more focused on your circumstances or your Savior?" And that's kind of what I was trying to get at earlier, guys. Where is your energy going? Where attention goes, energy flows. Where's your attention going? And here's Tim Tebow himself speaking about it.
Are you really trying to figure out what's next in your life? Or are you really trying to figure out what does God want you to do? Because those are very different. By being in God's word, by studying it, by being surrounded with so many brothers and sisters that are running this race with each other, that the first thing we think of in the middle of our circumstances isn't, are they good or are they bad? But what is God doing and what does he want to do in me? Are you really trying to figure out what's next in your life?
I love that. I'm going to actually play that last part again because it's very important.
Our circumstances isn't, are they good or are they bad? But what is God doing and what does he want to do in me?
Let's stop focusing on whether something is good or bad from our perspective. Why is this happening? What is God doing in me right now? So let me turn some music back on and I'll give you guys a little bit of an example of what I'm thinking. So let's take, for instance, I told you guys about when I got my leg broken when I was 17, right? I've told you guys stories about it. I've shown my scar on my leg and everything. And at the time, I was probably close to as far away from God as I possibly have been in my life, because I've been pretty close to him. I prayed to him throughout that whole time period, but it wasn't my focus. It was soccer, it was friends, it was fitting in, it was college, it was reputation, future finances, taking care of my family, but more in a selfish, not selfish, but well, it is selfish if you're not thinking about the Lord, in a selfish way, in a worldly way rather than a godly way. And so I get my leg broken. Before that, I get my heart broken. Get my heart broken on a Friday. Get my leg broken on a Tuesday. I'm laying on the ground. I'm just thinking, why, God? Why me? Why? And it's funny because that's actually the question. But it wasn't the why God in the sense of what are you doing in me? It was the why God, why is this bad thing happening? Obviously, I'm not thinking it's good. I'm thinking it's bad. My leg's broken. My career might be over. More than anything, I'm in a lot of pain right now. I wish this pain would stop, because with compartment syndrome and a broken leg, my leg was still swelling up. Is my leg going to be saved? Am I going to have to get it amputated? When am I going to get to this damn hospital? When are they going to get me off this ground? It was like 45 minutes on the ground, 35 minutes on the ground. I think it was 45 minutes on the ground and 35 minutes because we got stuck behind a wreck, right? Which is crazy because you're in an ambulance, but if you're in standstill traffic in an ambulance, there's literally nowhere for cars to go, so you're stuck. Sirens on, humming, but I mean, people are trying to move out of the way, but there are other wrecks ahead. There's a wreck ahead. Traffic is stopped, right? So I'm just thinking, why is this bad thing happening to me? And about a decade later, 27, I was 17 when it happened. About a decade later, I'm 27. And I'm looking back on it. I was doing this thing. I had read something somewhere. It was like, write 2 letters. You're going to write a letter to the person that harmed you or whatever. Write a letter to someone or something. So the first letter is just let it all out. How do you really feel? Tell them how you feel. Mine was basically, why the fuck did you do this, man? Because I knew the kid. Like, we weren't close friends or anything like that, but we grew up playing soccer together, and I was just like, why would you do this to me? And it was in the play, and during a play, the ball was at my feet, or it was leaving my feet. But as a goalkeeper in the box, you come out with your hands, you don't come out with your feet. That makes no sense. It made no sense. He was obviously trying to injure me. I was arguably the third best player on my team. We're all pretty, in different ways, we were all pretty much the same level. Very important player on my team, leading goal scorer on my team, all this stuff. So my thought process is he's trying to help his team win, right? They're trying to win state. He knows that I'm a threat, whatever. Why do that? Why risk ending my career over a high school soccer game? This isn't how we get seen to go to college. This doesn't matter. Why would you do this, man? Thought we were friends, one of those things. You hurt me. You hurt my teammates. I had teammates that were shooken up after that. Some of them didn't even want to play the rest of the season because they knew that their careers were on the line. It was horrific for a lot of people. Why would you do that? What's going through your head? Like, would you want that to happen to you? My teammates wanted to fight you. I wanted to fight you. So I write that letter, right? And then it says, throw that letter away. Write the second letter. The second letter is a forgiving letter. It's an understanding letter. Find a way, and that was hard. It's like, find a way to understand from his point of view why. Not in a malice way, not he was trying to hurt you, whatever. Why? And how does he feel about it? My letter was basically, look, man, you're in the heat of the moment. I guarantee you that you regret this. It's okay. I'm still here. Like, it's all right, man. You're gonna be okay. Don't feel bad about it. I'm gonna recover. This is 10 years later, but I'm writing a perspective from that time period. And then you go on to like what's going on now. My life's going well. I'd already met Jackie by this point, so I'm like, life is good. I got to play college soccer. I would have never met her if this didn't happen. And then I started to see like, okay, so this ended up being a good thing for me. This moment I thought was bad, ended up being a good moment for me. Now fast forward almost 10 years later, so I'm 36 now, so it's 9 years later. I'm thinking about it, and I hear this message from Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow says, not thinking about how good or bad your circumstances are. So I'm thinking it's a bad circumstance at 17. At 27, I'm thinking it's a good circumstance. Scrap all of that. What was God doing in me? God was making me appreciate things. God slowed down my life. He made me refocus. I couldn't walk. I couldn't go to the bathroom on my own at first. Like, I could literally like physically go to the bathroom, but like I couldn't stand up. I couldn't sit down because the blood, like I had to have my leg up at all times, because if I put my leg down, all the blood would rush to my leg and I'd pass out. First time I tried to stand up and go to the bathroom by myself, well, I'll spare you guys the details, but it did not go well. Passed out, fell over. Don't remember anything after I passed out until like obviously I woke up on the ground, on the floor. Very embarrassing, right? Can't even stand up on your own. Through that, I made a lot of friends that I wouldn't have normally made. There were a lot of people that were always by my side, of course, like my good friends. But there were a lot of people that, yes, I knew they felt bad for me, but they went out of their way to help me. People that had no business helping, like people in my classes would do things for me because they were just like, they felt bad. They definitely felt bad and felt sorry for me. But they saw that I was trying. I just couldn't physically do things. God was showing me how to, instead of being this 17-year-old young man that was on top of the world, could drive wherever he wanted to, could run faster than most people, could just do anything. I was a good talker, real good in school, had all this stuff going for me. And it humbled me real quick. It was like, what else do you have, man? Because these are all worldly things. What else do you have? What if all of it's taken away from you? And then looking back on it again at 36 years old, what God was doing in me was he was molding my heart to be able to fully appreciate all of his creatures in every situation and understand that life is going to get bad again. Bad. But is it really that bad? What's God doing in you? There's going to be tough times ahead. So it's not bad. It's just tough. These are all tests. These are tests of your will. And how are you going to get through it? Well, the first time I got through it with the help of other people. I got by with a little help from my friends. That was actually one of the songs that I really listened to a lot when I was recovering. But it brought me back to the Lord, because the only way I'd feel comfort in the hour and a half between my pills that I had to take for pain relief was praying, man. And then when I was right after college, I went to New Zealand and I got a kidney stone when I was over there. Another country, healthcare system's completely different. Know a couple people there, and I have a kidney stone at 22 years old, right? How did I get through that? How was I able to urinate? You want to know how I did it? I prayed. I would sing hymns. I'd sing songs. I did little things that connected me with the Lord, and they got me through that physical pain, the emotional pain, the shame of being 22 years old and having a kidney stone when that's supposed to be for old men. And so as I got older, I started realizing, oh, this is what it is. Then by the time I hit 30, that's when I dropped down on my knees right outside this door over here, and I just let it all out. I was just like, God, this is it. I'm done. I'm doing the first non-cowardly release ever. I'm just letting it all go. It's yours now. I can't do this anymore. I will literally kill myself if I keep trying to do it on my own, whether it's by force or by accident. I will kill myself if I keep doing it on my own. And so I just gave my life over to him. I was just like, Lord, what do you want me to do? I'm still gonna do things that I think are right, because that's just how human nature works. But my goal is gonna be to do what you want me to do. At times where I don't feel like I can hear you, I'm probably gonna make mistakes because my mind and my heart and my soul aren't open to that. But I'm still gonna try. I'm not giving up on you because you haven't given up on me. And you're gonna be the focus of my life now. And 6 years later, look at where I'm at. I'm able to talk to you guys on the internet, laugh about talking asses, making fart jokes, genuinely feeling hurt for Tim Tebow and his family, David Allen Coe and his family, their fans, but also realizing it's not the end. This is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. So thank you guys for listening to that little diatribe. And I got a couple more things I want to show you guys real quick. Bread is coming up, Jackie, very soon, but I want to get through these first. Bear Grylls on X says, we can stop trying to impress others. We need only have eyes and hearts for Christ. Couldn't have said it better myself. We can stop trying to impress others. We need only have eyes and hearts for Christ. And that's something that I had to learn over my years. And next up, I got a little clip from Jeremy Doku. This is not my favorite team, Manchester City, but they have been a very good team for a very long time in the English Premier League. And he's only like 24, 25 years old. Young man from Belgium, or he's at least of Belgian descent, plays for their national team. And I think it's interesting that Belgium, their mascot, their football teams, their mascot is the Red Devils. Belgium, as you guys probably know, has been a very evil country in the past. I know it's a small country, but a lot of royalty lives there. The people have been subjugated there. There's some dark history in the country of Belgium, and to see the way that God works, and he put one of his sons in that country to spread the word of the Lord. And this is just a guy that plays football. He plays a kid's game, gets paid millions of euros to play this game, but he knows where his priorities lie. And it says, it's from Talk Church on X, and it says, only Jesus fills your emptiness. I'll let him speak for himself.
I'm a city, top of the top. Trust me. You thinking that, as soon as I'm there, that will fill the emptiness is a lie. I'm at the top, and that emptiness has not been filled. It has been filled now by Jesus Christ, but it hasn't been filled by girls, money, all those things. You will always want more. You will never have enough. I can be here now, and tomorrow I cannot be there, But we have the joy now, and we know, because we know where we are headed, We have eternal life, and we hold on tight to that. I must say.
Again, couldn't have said it better myself. That emptiness, we try to fill that emptiness with worldly things. It's never going to be enough. No amount of money in the world, no amount of the opposite sex in the world, no amount of fame, no amount of recognition, no amount of praise is going to ever fill that emptiness. There's only one thing that can fill that emptiness, and that's the Lord. And when you realize that, and here's another little story, and it's just something that I romanticize my life and things in my life all the time, because that's the way that I like to storytell. So I was literally born with the hole in my heart. So when I was born, there was, and I think it's somewhat common amongst children, but I was born with my heart was open, right? And they said it would close over time. I don't think I had to have any serious surgeries, but I was obviously born with a hole in my heart. So it had to either heal or I was going to die. But I mean, I was a baby. I didn't know that. I don't even think my parents were that worried. I was their second child. I think they both knew plenty about healthcare. And even though my dad's a psychiatrist, he did go through medical school, so he learned a decent amount of biology, stuff like that. And they knew the percentages of people that survived, or children that survived, and it's pretty high. It wasn't a serious thing, whatever. Maybe it was to them. I got to ask them one day, but I remember my mom telling me that. And at a young age, I remember, because I've wavered in my faith up until my adulthood, where now I'm beyond steady, cannot be broken, cannot be shaken. I remember at a young age thinking that was just an opening for all the things that were important to fill it. I was born in a way so that I wasn't complete yet. And the thing that I had to find to fill that hole in my heart, that physical hole, which ended up closing up, but it was a spiritual hole that I was born with. And it was the Lord, because God, this is my opinion, this is my romanticization of my life, is that I was going to falter. My faith was going to waver. And that physical hole was going to become a spiritual hole. It's going to become a mental hole. And I was going to try to fill it with things that would plug it for a little bit, but eventually they would fade. They would wither. But then I found that one thing that could fill that hole for eternity. Now I'm saved. Now that hole is there. Or now that hole is gone. That hole is filled. So with that being said, we have, I think, one more thing before I get to the bread. No, I think the bread might be the last thing. All right. So yay! The bread is coming up. Let me go pull this up. And Jackie, if you want, you can go ahead and get the bread now, because I'm going to play this clip first. I thought I put it on. I'm just going to go to your page, because right now it's taking me a minute to find it. So hold on a second, y'all. Let me I'll turn some music back on. Let's see how the chat's doing. Saying hey to each other. Tracy Nanette, is he Dutch on his grandmother's side? I'm not totally sure if he's Dutch. We got a banana behind me dancing around. But I'm not totally sure. And Strings and Things 7, Belgium is New World Order Central. Yep, that is something that I learned. And thank you, Buck Wayne. Buck Wayne says, Cam, you are inspiring, sir. Thank you so much. And Buck Wayne, I know that you've shared your story, at least like you've written it down before on I think it was on Jackie's show. But man, you're inspiring to me, brother. When you laid your heart out there and let us know what you had been through, it helped me remember why I'm around all y'all, because I know so many of you have amazing stories and you fought through so many things that are way more difficult than a broken leg, in my opinion. And sorry, I'm smiling because I just read something in the comments, but man, I really do appreciate it, Buck Wayne. And Tracy Nanette says Blazing Saddles reference, Cam, duh. Yeah, I know, it went way over my head. Once I read it, I started smiling because it's like, dang, I just realized that I messed that one up. So let's see. By the way, oh, now it works. So sometimes when I type in Jackie's name, she's not the first person that comes up, which is the dumbest thing ever, because I'm constantly following her stuff. And you share a lot of things.
You just go to the media.
Media?
Oh, it's that one.
It was this one.
Sure it was that one? I thought it was the B for bread.
Oh, it was the B for bread.
It's that one. Right there.
Right here?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, it's on Rumble, that's why.
Yeah.
All right. So before I start talking, let me cut the music and let Jackie come over here first. All right, Jackie. So you can't hear yourself, but it really doesn't matter. So come on over.
What's up, everybody?
Hi.
I have bread here. I made 2 loaves of bread this week. And you want to look at a slice? I can show you.
Show us a slice.
Too bad there's no smell-o-vision, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you get the smells.
Oh, that smells so good. At first, I was like, you don't smell the best right now. You need to shower. I'm just kidding.
Here's the bread. Look how nice and ooh, look at those holes.
It's porous.
Nice and porous. It's nice and soft. Smells good. Back into the container we go. I froze 1 loaf of bread, and this is the one that we're keeping here so that Cam can eat, well, we can eat the bread and make sandwiches. So
sandwiches.
I do have my for those that would like the recipe, I posted the recipe for my sandwich dough or sandwich bread, excuse me, on both my Rumble. You can see a video here with the recipe, and then on my Substack, I have the recipe with the full video. So,
Yeah. So you can stay over here if you want. What I'll do is, if I unplug my headphones, I can plug them back in, right? Or should I just not do that?
It's okay. You don't have to do it.
Okay. Well, you know your own voice. So
I know my voice.
Yeah.
My video. I recorded it.
Excuse me, y'all. All right. So there's no way to go full screen with this, right? More than what it is right now.
Like you just have to take yourself off the screen.
Oh no, I didn't mean like that.
Oh.
All right. So you lead in. Let them know about this. I'll do my thing after.
Okay. So essentially,
make sure you're over here. You got to get a little closer to me.
Back in the beginning of March, to fulfill the Rumble short requirement, I thought of potentially doing some Rumble shorts about Jesus and about God and about the Bible. And the first one that I did, the first series I did was the Bible ABCs, going through people of the Bible from A to Z. So that was the first one, and that did so well. I was like, let's keep it going. So this last month, we started with the Jesus from A to Z, basically explaining who Jesus is from A to Z. So just different things that he mentioned in the Bible, different quotes that he referenced of himself, what people said about him. So these are fun, and this is the B for bread for life, or bread of life, excuse me.
Yes, and thank you, Spetzel. God, I'm ruining it like these other people. He said multi-part shorts on Jackie's bread. Yes, so he put the link in there. It's 5 parts now.
Yeah, 5.
So there's 5 parts on. She'll walk you step through step on how to do it. It probably won't turn out like hers, only because she's been working at it for a while now. The first time she did it was very frustrating for her, but she was able to get it on the second try. I wouldn't say easy, but I think it turned out perfect the second time. Well, the first time she cooked it, but the second time she created the starter. But ever since then, because she has the starter still going from the original starter, it's worked out. I just realized this just turned the wrong way. It's worked out really well. But it's 5 steps so far that she has out there, and you can follow along on her Rumble channel. And D Patriot, you're totally right. Grilled cheese with that bread would be awesome. Jackie made that the other day. Not this exact one, it's a different loaf, but she absolutely loved it. But I'm gonna go ahead and play this, and I will explain in a second why this ties into the Jesus segment. And then after that, we're going to do a few more things on X, and then I'm going to cut off the other channels, because even though we don't have people coming up, or we didn't have people come up at 9, I am going to start wrapping up the show, just because I don't want to get close to DPH time and be rushing to finish up. So anything we don't have finished for this week, we'll save for next week. But all right, so I'm going to go ahead and play this, and then we will be right back.
If we're being honest, a lot of people treat Jesus like an add-on, like he's something you reach for when life gets hard, but not something you actually build your life around. But that's not how he described himself. Jesus said, "I am the bread of life. Whoever comes to me shall not hunger." That's John 6:35. Not a bonus, not a side, bread, which means he's the source. He's not meant to be something you squeeze into your routine. He's the thing that actually sustains you. And that might be why so many people feel empty, because they're stacking everything else on top and putting Jesus somewhere in the mix. But if he's not the foundation, nothing else is going to satisfy you the way you think it will. Make sure to follow along for the full ABC of who Jesus really is.
This YouTube.
If we're being
All right. So, of course, that was Jackie. This is her shoulder right here. Actually, I think this is actually the shoulder that's been bothering her recently. So, if you guys want to focus on this area of her back and send some healing prayers towards that, would be greatly appreciated. But all jokes aside, the reason I wanted to bring that up was because, so I went through, what are you on, M right now? Okay, so she's recording M tomorrow. Let me go ahead and play some of this music. So she's going to record M tomorrow. I don't even know if the music's playing. Excuse me. So she's going to record M tomorrow, but I was going through it, and I think I ended up going backwards, because the way that the Rumble shorts go on her channel, it like started at L and it was going backwards. So I got to B for bread of life, right? And hold on, let me see what you guys are saying in the chat. Jesus is so good at the Jesus is so good at these, but Patriot today said Jackie is so good at these. D Patriot says Jesus is with me every moment of every day, not just when things are tough. Amen to that. Totally agree. So this got me thinking for some reason. I understand that bread in the physical sense, the bread that we're eating, especially nowadays. I see some of you guys talking about it in the chat. Spetzel says wasted carbs. Shouldn't he be the protein? And then Unati says absolutely. And I love that. So the bread that we have nowadays, obviously, this is not the literal bread that Jesus Christ is for us, the bread of life. But it made me think. So when you go to restaurants, what's the first thing that they give you? They give you bread at the table, right? Okay, so they give you bread at the table. How much is the bread? The bread's free. Okay. If you fill up on too much bread, you can't have the rest of the meal, right? Or you're not going to be hungry for the rest of the meal. But what does that tell you? It tells you that the bread is filling. The bread fills you up. The bread itself could end up being a meal. I've done that plenty of times where I go to restaurants and I eat bread, and by the time my meal gets around, I'm like, man, I can barely eat anything. I'm full on bread. Well, if you treat Jesus Christ as the bread, manna from heaven, as D Patriot says. IL Danny says, get so filled up on that bread. Yep. So instead of filling up on physical bread and ruining your appetite, the way that I was visualizing it is when I go to a restaurant and they give me bread first, that is in a way, at least for me, that is the Lord's way of saying, come to the bread first. The bread is free. The bread will fill you up. The bread is all you need when you're hungry. So in a spiritual way, if you come to Jesus Christ and you put him first, and you always have him first, you always eat from the bread of life, which is our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, you will never go hungry. You don't need another meal. You don't need the worldly other parts of the food. Now, obviously, like when it comes to hunger and stuff, that's not what I'm talking about. But like when I say worldly, I mean spiritually of this world. You don't need that. You can have bread. Bread alone, and those other things are going to cost you. They're going to cost you. There's an opportunity cost to everything spiritually that you consume, except for the bread of life, which is our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. So I just thought that was interesting. Next time you go to a restaurant, or maybe this way, every time you guys go to a restaurant, I'm going to try to drill this in your heads. When you go to a restaurant and they offer you bread, maybe you turn down that bread because you already got your bread. You got Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. If you pray before your food, if you pray even before the bread comes, if you pray over the bread, you're full. You're spiritually full. At that point, you're spiritually full. Hold him first. Hold him always. And you'll never go hungry. So I just thought that was interesting. And Spetzel has a great point, though. Man does not live on bread alone. Yes, physical bread. There's also action. You have to do action. IL Denny says those Olive Garden breadsticks. Yep, that was actually so. Those breadsticks. I'm thinking of basically Italian restaurant bread. So there's Olive Garden breadsticks. Buca de Pepo, Baba de Bupi, Buca de Pepo has fantastic bread in my opinion. I used to work at this restaurant called Ritter's in high school, only for like a few months in between sports seasons. And we actually had this really cool thing where we had buttered crackers. Like we had butter crackers that we had this huge like industrial size like toaster thing. It was like, it looked like a refrigerator with like probably like 7 or 8 different shelves. And it had the wire racks that went in there. And what we do is we lay out the I think what they did was they made the crackers. Yeah, they made the crackers, dusted them with butter, and then like the bus boys, because I was a bus boy at the time and a food runner. I upgraded from bus boy to food runner before I ended up leaving the job for bigger and better things. But we were in charge of putting them in there, taking them out, and I think we had bread as an option too. But people loved the crackers. But anyway, man, now sorry Maggie. I bet Maggie already left. She probably left to go eat because she was hungry. But anyway, but yeah, whenever you go to a restaurant from now on, when the bread comes, think about the fact that the bread is free. The bread will fill you up. Also, remember what Spetzel said. You can't live on bread alone. So the bread of life, you got to eat from the bread of life, our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, but you also have to act in accordance with the Lord. You have to come back to the Lord. But just remember that, the bread. Bread. All right. Thank you, Jackie, for coming over here and doing that. Let's switch tabs back to X and we will finish up this thing. Where is it? Add tab to the new split view. Nope. What do I want to do? Hold on a second, guys. I don't know why this is doing this. You know what? While we're waiting for that, let's hit another ad. So next up, we've got us again. And this time it's soft disclosure.
Last winter, the world met Madame Margie, the moistureless. But while Badlandia banded together at Gart, she evolved. While deep in her layer, she uncovered 4 sacred instruments of hydration. The lip balm, the lotion, the tallow bar, and the new stainless steel gua sha. Together, they wage war. Flaking has fallen, roughness retreats, dryness trembles, and among the rebels, mother's good boy. But elsewhere in Badlandia, rebellion grows, the beards remain.
Shave them all off.
Visit softdisclosure.com and use promo code Mama's Boy for 20% off your Mother's Day bundle. And when you buy 2 Mother's Day bundles, you get an 11-ounce lavender vanilla for free. For softness, for victory, for moms.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA.
Make sure you check out Soft Disclosure. And the sale is only on until I think it's the 5th. Maybe after that. No, it's probably after that. But anyway, make sure you get the Mother's Day bundle, guys. Mother's yeah, so make sure you get your Mother's Day bundle for your mom or for your wife if she's a mother, or you can get it for anybody, to be honest. But make sure you guys check that out. And while we're at it, talking about Badlands, guys, go up. What were you saying? Oh. I heard myself on his computer and thought she was talking to me. I thought I was talking to me. While we're at it, guys, let's hold on. We gotta see what people are saying about the ad, because this is the best part. Jai says she's uploaded all the beard videos here on YouTube as well. Bread. Oh my gosh. Beard bread. All right. I gotta stop talking about bread. All right. So Al Danny says Marge is too cool. Yeah, she's very cool. Tracy Nanette says, ha, 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 ha. Poor Jay. Oh, don't say poor Jay. He knows. Jay is lucky enough to have a wonderful mother like Madam Marge. So don't feel bad for Jay. He's if you've heard any of his stories, he had like the best childhood. He can sacrifice having a beard to please his mother after all the awesome things that she's done for him, you know. Even makes the hair on grandma's back kitten soft. Yep, it does. if your grandma, I don't want to talk about people's grandmas. Boo. DD Novellis says, yes, shave them off. Sorry, DD Novellis. I'm not shaving this one off, but I appreciate your comment. I really do. Bay Theater Dave says, Madam Marge, Jay is such a mama's boy. Yep. Promo code mama's boy. He is a mama's boy. I'm a mama's boy too. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. As long as you understand that you're also supposed to be a man. You can't just be a little boy all along or your whole life going crying to mommy. As Jay did, he didn't go crying to mommy. Mommy made him cry because she was shaving his beard. But that was just so funny. When I saw that last night, I was cracking up. Should be playing Van Halen, right? Yeah. Anything with Jay makes me think of Van Halen. I actually, we were at Michael's one day, the store, not the movie. We were at Michael's one day and I saw a magazine, a Life magazine with Van Halen on the cover, and I took a picture of it and sent it to him. I was like, thinking of you, bro. Let's see what else we got. EC was here, says my mother doesn't like beards. I told her not to date a man with one. Yes, you don't like beards, don't date one. Tell my dad not to have one. Mom, tell dad not, if your dad's still around, tell your mom if she doesn't like beards to tell your dad to shave his beard. And if your dad's not around, I'm sorry to hear that. But if she's in the dating mood or she's still dating, tell her that. Yes, Jay was a wild one. Bay Theater Dave. Oh, that's beautiful, Spetzel. I shaved my beard. Spetzel says, I shaved my beard for my mom's funeral. Haven't grown it back since. See, that's a good reason. And may your mom rest in peace, man. But that's a great reason. There are always reasons to shave your beard. And the good thing about the beard oil is it's also good. It's also good for your face. It's not just for beards. D, anybody that's looking, D said, Madam Marge dated David Lee Roth's father. That's the Van Halen reference. Yes, for anyone that didn't know that. And David Lee Roth and his comments to young J-Trid about doing drugs. Actually, to J-Trid's mom about that he was going to get into drugs one day probably did not help the relationship. But that being said, Jay's parents wouldn't be together right now if that ended up working out. So as much as David Lee Roth's dad may have been a good guy, I'm glad that it didn't work out between them because the J-Triot family is intact, and I love that. Nuclear families unite. Anyway, all right. So as I was saying, guys, get your GART tickets. GART's coming up. GART is coming up. Oh my gosh, it's so hard to read this with this little screen. I got to make this full screen. GART is coming up in 7 weeks, as Jackie said. That first date, June 25th, is actually Jackie's birthday. That's the Thursday night VIP dinner to kick everything off. Then we got the Friday first set of panels with the meet and greet dinner, or meet and greet party, dinner party. No, it's the party. It's not really a dinner. VIP dinner on Thursday, the 25th. 26th is the meet and greet. And everybody just kind of hangs out. Hopefully we'll be able to have a dance party. We're definitely, not definitely, but there's a very good chance we're going to do karaoke because unlike Nashville, Deadwood is set up for us to be able to go do karaoke. Last time was a great time. And then Saturday is the last full day. And then Sunday we'll wrap everything up. It's going to be a great time, guys. There's a good chance that a large group of people at some point are going to go to Mount Rushmore. If you've never been, make it out there. But the Great American Restoration Tour, it's our, which one is this? This is, I think it's number 12. Hold on, I'm trying to close this thing. I think it's the 12th one. Let me check real quick. Yeah, so June 25th through 28th, Badlands Media is heading back to Deadwood, South Dakota for the 12th stop on the Great American Restoration Tour. Whether you're attending in person or virtually, a GART veteran or a virgin, there's something for everyone. Early bird prices for virtual tickets are available through May 15th. So just started. May just started, guys. So you got about 13 days left after tonight to get those early bird virtual tickets. And merch packages are now also available for both in-person or virtual ticket holders. Get your GART 12 tickets today at badlandsmedia.tv/events. So guys, make sure you check that out. That is going to be a very fun time. John has said plenty of times before that is his favorite. I'll keep this up. That it's his favorite venue and place. Well, it's his favorite place to go to is Deadwood. I think he's been going since he was a child. And it's a lot of fun, man. It's like 2 or 3 streets. It's just a small town. You can basically walk. Well, you can walk anywhere. So you drive up. You keep driving through the town a little bit or around the side of the town. You come up a hill, go to the parking garage, park your vehicle, or if you get a ride from the airport and you're in like a bus or a van or whatever. Also, try to get a few people if you can to get with and to travel to and from the airport because it cuts down on the fees if you're taking a bus or if you're taking a van or whatever. But when you get there, man, you don't need a car. You just walk everywhere. There are casino type places everywhere. There's shops everywhere. There's museums. And then you go all the way up to the top of the hill, and that's where the hotel is. And there's a casino in the hotel I believe the casino is open 24 hours. There's drinks until late or early in the morning. The event is at the hotel. I think it's on the 2nd floor, maybe. I'm not totally sure. Don't quote me on that. There's a restaurant in there that's open like normal hours. I think it's open decently late, but yeah, it's a great time. It was mine and Jackie's first time there. And we saw Bay Theater Dave there. He was there. There were plenty of other people there as well. Sorry if I haven't said any of your names, but EC was here says, I'll be in a day early driving. Yes, that you're going to love the drive. We only got the drive from the airport to Deadwood. It's about, I'm not sure how long the drive is, but the scenery, man, the scenery is so, what? Okay, well, Jackie said EC is driving in from Arizona, which actually does not change anything that what I'm saying. But the point I'm trying to make is that the drive into Deadwood, because of just the general area that it's in, once you get close to Deadwood, the scenery is just so beautiful. So if you're driving in a long distance, it'll be a fun ride. You'll be going from Arizona, which I know there's mountains and stuff in Arizona, but it's somewhat flat. I also think there's a valley there, but then when you get to Deadwood, you'll just see the South Dakota hills and mountains, man. It's so beautiful. So make sure you get those GART tickets, guys. And I'm not going to bring this up, but Actually, I might. No, that's a lot of work right now. Screw it. I'll do it. Polaris Park says Marco Rubio running Spirit Airlines. First of all, if anybody doesn't know, let me take this off the screen. If anybody doesn't know, Spirit Airlines allegedly shut down just overnight. They're just like, yep, done. We're not doing this anymore. So, the rest of the Spirit Airlines, plenty of flights. I've had a good time going to Spirit Airlines. So thank you, Spirit Airlines, for all your years of. I enjoyed the travel in Spirit Airlines. A few bumpy flights, not very good leg room, but it was still a good time. So that being said, oh my gosh, this is an AI video. Oh, this is so worth it. So I'm waiting for it to load up. This is from MAGA Voice on X, and it says LMFAO. I'll pull it up on the screen. Let me reboot this. All right. Dang it, now I gotta cut the music. That's all right. So it says LMFAO, Marco Rubio finding out he has to run Spirit Airlines. This is an absolute masterpiece. So enjoy. This is from Polaris Park, and Spetzel said that it's good. So if it sucks, like John said last night on the outro for Only Lands, if it sucks, it's on them. If you like it, it's a joint effort. Also, it's really been annoying me that I appreciate that they do that for giving people credit, but it really annoys me that this is in the picture. I noticed that last night on X because I was gonna play the outro from X, and then I saw that popped up. So, but anyway, here we go. Let me take myself.
Looks like you're going to have to take over Spirit too, Marco. Looks like you're going to.
Oh, that was so worth it. Thank you so much, Polaris Park. I'll give you full credit on that one. Spetzel says you're black, so Spirit is safe for you, Cam. I don't know about all that, man. With Marco Rubio in charge, he was only beating up black people. I guess that's because they're the only people that were flying on it. But man, Buck Wayne says Lil Marco will have to consult with Barron Trump's kneecaps first. That's funny too. Oh man. Yeah, Marco Rubio probably only comes up to Barron's waist at best, and I'll leave it at that. Oh, I need some water because that yawn is not from being tired because I just had some coffee. So, all right, let's keep it moving. Buck, no, never mind. Typical day at LAX. Yeah, LAX is a very interesting airport. I like Hartsfield Jackson. I'm a fan of it. LAX is, it's all right. Not a bad airport, but I am very partial to Hartsfield Jackson in Atlanta, and it's also the busiest airport in the world. So most traffic on a day-to-day basis, and I think over a yearly basis. So we're getting near the end of the show. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and read a couple of these rants that came in, and then hold on, let me switch this. Add. Move tab into split view, right view. Perfect. All right. So let me share this instead. And we got 3 rants that came in. Sorry about taking so long to get to the rants, guys. But what the heck? Cam, you're everywhere. All right, so stop sharing. Right now, Marco Rubio's face, AI face, is huge right now on my screen. So I had to get that out of there. Oh, that was hard to look at. It was like, imagine I don't know how big this monitor is, but the entire monitor was filled with his surprised face. So anyway, all right. First up, we've got, oh man, this is hard to see on here. Let me try to make myself smaller in the corner. That doesn't help anything. First up, we got Keith O'Higgins for $1 says, I heard Justin Trudeau is complaining his new red snapper smells real bad. Ew. Oh man. That was funny, Keith O'Higgins. If you guys need an explanation, ask Keith in the chat. He might break it down for you. But that was a good one. Thank you so much, brother. Great to see you. Great to have you back. I know that you've been back for a while now, but it was sad with you on your leave for Lent, but it's great to have you back, man. I can tell you're back and better than ever. EC was here, raided the stream. So that's what the raid was. I didn't see it pop up in my thing when it came up. Thank you so much, EC, for raiding the stream and then sticking around afterwards, man. I know EC was here and I were talking a little bit like a week or two ago about like I wasn't giving him any information on what to do on his show. I wasn't talking to him about content, but he was just kind of letting me know that he was going to start up a show. So make sure you check out EC was here. I'm pretty sure if you just click on his name, you can go to his page, give him a follow. Great guy, always been a Badland. Well, not always, but since Badlands started, I'm pretty sure he's been a Badlander. And yeah, just a good dude. So make sure you check out his content. So happy, man. I don't know if this was your first episode. If it was, congratulations on popping the champagne to celebrate. We'll keep it light here. But thank you so much, brother. And then AOB22 for $5 says, Cam, all your shows are great, but tonight is extra special. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, AOB. It I don't know why. Oh, awesome. I just realized $5 on the 50th episode. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's something. When I saw that it was 50, I realized there's 52 weeks in a year. I only missed like 3 or 4 episodes because of either GART or I think there was 1 week where I just didn't do it. And Keith O'Higgins has a great point about EC was here. EC has a great voice. Yes. Make sure. And then Jai says EC was doing shows for a while, has been doing shows for a while. So I'm almost positive. It was not. Thank you, Jackie. Sorry, EC was here. I got your screen name confused with somebody else. Stay tuned for the other person that I was talking about because they obviously haven't started their thing yet. So I will not spoil who it is. And yes, Jackie's totally right. EC was here. And it's funny. The reason I was thinking about that is because when I was talking with this other person, I was walking to Whole Foods, and we live in East Cobb. So we called East Cobb the EC when we were growing up. Like that's literally just a nickname for it. And for some reason, every time I see EC was here, I either think that he's from the same area as me, or it's like when I'm out and about and I see like East Cobb Park or whatever, I think of him. So you're on my mind, EC. So either way, EC's awesome. And EC says, been streaming on Rumble for a bit over 2 years. Yeah. Well, congratulations on having another show tonight. It says, used to stream on D Live until they unpersoned Zach. Yeah. Yeah, screw them, man. Anybody that kicked in, that's why it's so hard for me with YouTube sometimes is they booted so many of my friends. I know. I'll give them a second chance. I will give YouTube a second chance because they have replatformed plenty of us, and by us I mean them because I was never on YouTube. But anyway, let's keep it moving because we are getting to that time where we need to get out of here. I'm going to show a couple more things, and then I'm going to cut Kick and I'm going to hold on a second. I'm going to cut Kick and Facebook and YouTube and Twitch. So let's get to this part real quick. All right. So finishing up on X before we get to the American of the Week, we just got a few funny things. Actually, no. Well, let's do the funny things first, and then we'll finish with a couple things that really matter. So, well, actually, this isn't even that funny, but quick one. Steak and Shake, which by the way, they clapped back at some teacher that was talking about grass-fed and grass-finished and how there's no point in saying grass-finished, and they roasted them on that. It was fantastic. So Steak and Shake just announced that 100% grass-fed beef. They got the beef tallow. They're really changing things up. Pretty awesome. RFK Jr. is there, and it says he's at Steak and Shake doing some burger flipping. and pressing, and it says RFK Jr. is the best dressed steak burger cook in the world, and I would probably have to agree with that. That's a really nice suit, by the way. But yeah, man, just I know it's a fast food place, but at least they're trying, guys. At least they're trying. Let's see. We got that from RFK. I'm not going to read this whole post, but I highly suggest you guys check it out. Actually, I will read it. It's not that long. So this is from the 30th, April 30th. Katie Talento. So she is the CEO and former White House health policy advisor. She's a recovering epidemiologist and neuropath, hacking the system that controls our health. That's what her thing says. So she writes, and I feel the same as RFK Jr. in this. And I know some people will not feel this way, but I'm going to go ahead and share it. And Bather Dave has a great point. In-N-Out uses tallow now too. Yes, they do. And we had that in Nashville. So good. So Katie Talento says, in 2017, on one of my first tasks at the White House was to keep Bobby Kennedy far away from the West Wing. Not because President Trump didn't want him there. He'd actually agreed to Bobby's pitch to create a vaccine safety commission, but others, you can guess who, weren't thrilled, and they told me to get rid of him. So I protected the orthodoxy I'd been trained to protect, and it took me years to realize what I had actually done. Tomorrow, I published the full confession. The 2002 autism moms I ignored, the 2017 Vaccine Safety Commission I killed, the 2021 moment I finally broke, the apology I owed Secretary Kennedy, and what I've done to atone. It's the hardest thing I've written. I'm sending it out to my list at 6 a.m. and then the sign up for links in the comments. And this is an awesome picture of RFK Jr. and his uncle, John F. Kennedy, our 35th president of the United States. And then let me go back to Secretary Kennedy on his personal account says, "Thank you, Katie, for coming clean and for your support. All is forgiven." And the reason I say that I'm the same with him, all is forgiven. She came out, she apologized, she admitted her mistakes. I've not read the post yet, but and then she also says, you are gracious now as then, Mr. Secretary. God has put you where you are now, and we're praying for your success. And guys, I truly believe that everybody deserves a second chance. I know that some of the things she's done seem unforgivable, and maybe they are. For you, maybe they are. That's up to everyone to decide. But she's come out, she's admitted she was wrong. And again, I've not read this. I'll read this story and I'll get back to you guys. And it says, here's the full story. Your book and podcast feature prominently in my journey from the consensus class to Maha. Keep up the good fight. Let me bookmark that so I can come back to it. But she's atoning for what she did, and I appreciate that. This one's simple. I liked it. I thought it was important. This I know this is a TV representative. It's a TV character, but this is Representative Wesley Hunt responded to some reporters, and I'll just let it play.
There's been a lot of talk how there won't be any Black Republican members in the new term.
Yeah.
What do you make of that?
Nothing. I don't understand how that's relevant.
Is there a problem with like recruitment, or
I don't think it's a problem with anything. I'm not here because I'm Black. I am here because I'm qualified representative for a congressional district.
Only caveat here is he's here because elections are fake and gay. But the sentiment with free and fair elections still stands.
38, and the American people choose who they want to choose. Yeah. And the one thing I don't want to get into is this game of race bait all day, every day. If there's 4, if there's 10, if there's none, what we are talking about is who is the best person that is best qualified to fill a seat, regardless of the way that they look. And I tell people this all the time till I'm blue in the face. I represent a white majority district that President Trump would have won by over 20 points, and I won by 25 points the last time I ran. I'm being judged not by the color of my skin, but by the content of my character. I don't care how many Black people are here. I want the most qualified people that are here.
And
thank you.
And again, like I said, elections have been fake and gay. Hopefully we get those fixed. Don't think it's going to happen before the midterms. We shall see. But the point still stands with free and fair elections, or maybe it's not even elections, but with accurate representation of the American people, we can actually live up to what Dr. King spoke about. Not being judged by the color of your skin, but by the content of your character and by your merit, by your skills, by your ability to do the work. I mean, we all know this and we feel this way in this community, but people waste so much fucking time, man, talking about race and stuff like that. And I brought that up. Yes, I'm talking about race, but I'm not really talking about race. I'm talking about the antithesis of race. I'm talking about people, human beings. We're all part of the human race. Jackie and I saw the Michael movie, and one of his biggest songs, he talks about being there for the entire human race. That's his goal, and that's all that matters, guys. All the other stuff is just to distract us. This one I thought was pretty funny. Colonel Towner Watkins reposted this, and I thought it was hilarious. And it's so true. For me, at least. Someone called the Kentucky Derby Amish NASCAR, and my day hasn't been the same. And I saw that earlier today, and as soon as Jackie told me about the Derby, the first thing I thought of was Amish NASCAR. And oh man, that's just so funny. I had a couple other things I was going to play that I don't want to waste time with because we're about to get out of here. We're going to get to our American of the Week in a second. Because we're going to end with the American of the Week, I'm going to say a couple more things about the Lord, and then or play something, say something about the Lord, play something about the Lord. Then we're going to get to our American of the Week, and we're going to get you guys out of here. So first up is a post from Robert Griffin III. I don't know how he is when it comes to certain things, but the way he speaks about the Lord, I enjoy the message and I like to share it because usually every day he has something awesome to say and I like to share it. It says, he wrote on X yesterday, "Stop letting fear stop you from achieving your dreams. The fear of what could go wrong doesn't compare to the joy of all the things that will go right. Trust God and go for it. God is bigger than any fears you have." And I said, I put this out there just for this part. God is bigger than any fears that you have. So any fear that you have in this world, in this lifetime, fears about the future, fears about how people feel about your past, all those things, they're all smaller than God. Everything's smaller than God. So put your trust in him. And I'll finish up this little segment and then two more things. This scene changed my whole way of thinking forever from today in history. Actually, I'll come back to this last. I will end with this scene before the outro. I haven't seen any more rants come in. So let's get to our American of the Week. I actually ended up keeping you guys around for a while. So Facebook, YouTube, Kick, and Twitch. I love you guys. Have a great night. Make sure you get your GART tickets. Get your soft disclosure before Mother's Day. We are going to cut you guys so we can go over to YouTube, do our American of the Week, and then we will you'll head on over to DPH. So thank you guys, and I appreciate it. X and Rumble, please stick around. And we will remove this one. Let's see, who else are we removing? YouTube. Sorry for this to be the last.